Hey over there, everybody. This is for. I hate when you go live
Really?
here. You hit the button and then you just wait for like 5 seconds for something randomly to happen, and it's like, what?
You're not even drunk yet. You're not even drunk yet.
It feels like it.
Oh
Hey,
my God.
Jeff and Joe, this is always the fun crew to as a team. That now I've offended a bunch of people who've done the show before, but I'm glad you guys are back.
Yeah, no, it's a fun time. It's a great excuse to have a Four Loko.
What?
You know, because I never drink this sort of garbage, but since we're doing these drinks, when we do these are a nice excuse. And I picked it up at a 7-Eleven before I started work today. So
Oh my God.
so people had opinions, but you know what? That's on them, not me.
Wait, the people at the 7-Eleven had the nerve to look down their nose at you about buying something? It's a 7-Eleven. What are you fucking talking about? Well, this is the gourmet 7-Eleven. How dare you, sir? How dare you? Oh my God.
Oh, we're gonna have such a good time tonight.
Oh yeah, once I could get this. The can's so hard to open sometimes.
Because they're trying to save you from opening it. That's what they're doing.
Don't hurt yourself, sir. You don't want that. You don't want to purchase that.
Oh my God.
Okay, there we go.
What? Get out of my life. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Smell the fake peach from like a foot away.
What are you doing? All right. I'll make
Don't
this live. I definitely need to go there. I'm going down to the local Woodinville whiskey. I'm going to send you some whiskey, Joe. I promise. In the next 24 hours, I'm going to send you like
$100. Joe. Poor Joe. Poor Joe. We knew him when he was younger. He was all right then.
Yeah.
But
when I was younger, I could do 2 of these bad boys. But
it all goes back to the day he opened the can. And then it was downhill from there on.
Well, all right. Well, clearly everybody can see we've got Geoff Thorne, Green Lantern. You launched a #1 issue. We're going to talk about that because that's a big deal. And we have Joe Corallo and you have Becstar coming out May 5th. And I've got the right coloring for Becstar here for you, I believe.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's what we're doing. But yeah, it's out for Cinco de Mayo. So pick up Becstar, get some margaritas, have a good day. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a good plan. I'm very anxious to talk about Green Lantern. You already revealed it. I'm just having beer today. So and Jeff, I mean, are you joining us? Or are you once again you're our designated driver here?
Dude, I don't drink. I'm always going to be the designated driver.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, I got a brother like that. It's great for family functions.
Yeah, it sucks for him though. I promise you, it sucks for him. It really sucked in college too, because I tried so hard to like alcohol, and I just really don't like the taste of any of it. So I just always ended up being that guy. Like I just don't like it. Like yeah.
I don't blame you. It took me a lot, believe it or not, despite the my brand. It took me a long time. I was never a big drinker, and of course now it's hey, it's pandemic rules, so we can do whatever we want.
Hey,
yeah, exactly.
Do what you got to do, brother.
So, all right. So, I Green Lantern came out.
Yup.
And congratulations, by the way, on the launch. I was mentioning before we went on the air. This is let's see. I want to say this in a way that's not going to be throwing shade to the other creators at DC. It felt like the first of the relaunched books that was an actual #1. It felt like the start of a new story. The other books are kind of continuing things. Yours felt like a start.
Well, there's been a big break, I guess. Like the Morrison book is sort of off to the left. There was a great deal of discussion about that at the beginning, and I asked them point blank, like, how much of that do you guys want me to use? And they're like, none. And not in a mean way, but like, it's kind of like, oh my God. Okay, watch me instantly go crazy retro.
Perfect.
The Eternals, created by Jack Kirby for Marvel, was never meant to be part of the freaking Marvel universe. It was specifically designed to not be part of the Marvel universe.
Right.
So he was able to play and do whatever the hell he wanted. There was a lot of joking around, like when Cersei turned some guy's head into the Thing, right? And it was all in fun, but it was clear that was its own separate space. by melding them into the regular universe, ultimately, I think they threw a spanner into the works. I've never felt that the Eternals mesh well with the MCU. The only one that has worked really well for me has been, ironically, Cersei, and only because the Avengers is just a crazy-ass book, and a lot of weird crap happens in the Avengers. But getting back to the Morrison stuff, he's fantastic, but his stuff is always off to the left.
Right.
Like, it's like they should just have a DC, universe M for, and I should say their stuff, right?
Yep.
It came out as non-binary. So their stuff is, it's wonderful, most of it. I'm a huge Invisibles fan. All of his work, really. But at the end of the day, it's so distinctive that you find yourself basically, if you use any of it, you're trying to copy him. And I'm not interested in copying anymore. So the one conceit we sort of took from the Morrison verse was these Guardians are different Guardians than the ones that you're used to. They're sort of a mixture of traditional Guardians and the ones he made up. So although that's why they don't look like they're younger, they are male and female, some other stuff. And there's some stuff that'll happen in issue 2 that'll sort of, I hope, explain some of the appearances, why they look the way they look.
Excellent.
And like that. But there was a certain conscious choice for this thing. I think it's an okay jumping on point. I hope it will make you go read a bunch of stuff, since we refer to a bunch of things that maybe people will go back and read about. Like, what are they talking about, the Blackest Night? Go read it,
Yeah.
And you don't need to know anything to get through this story. It will enhance it, hopefully. But if you don't know anything, I think you can get through this story.
Yeah, I like the issue, and now people can say, hey, it's because we talk, but honestly, I did like the issue, and I think for me,
told you to be fair.
Always
tell the truth. Always tell the truth.
We'll get to it. I
Okay.
promise. But I'm curious when a new reader would come into this, because you did leave a lot of Easter eggs for some of the cosmic aspect of the DC universe, and I thought there were a lot of Easter eggs. The wrong word. Just appearances. I liked that characters I haven't seen in 20 years were showing up. That was great.
Yeah, I mean, they said you can use anything cosmic, and I made they were like anything cosmic. Anything that qualifies as cosmic, past, present, or future, it is within your purview to use or not use as you see fit. And I was like, all right, then let's all crack our knuckles, because I'm going to be throwing some stuff at you, and you have to be prepared to say no, because if you don't, it won't be Grant Morrison crazy, but it may not be attractively crazy to you. So, and so far they've been pretty good about it. No, you can't do that, or we've got plans for this other thing, or that's a very big swing. Why don't we save that for, Arc 2, things like that, if we get there, stuff like that. But, I mean, I think old fans and new fans should have the same fun time on any comic book. That's the way I look at it.
Well, I mean, the elephant in the room, though, of course, is, there's this controversy that hated Hal. And you said no, but then I see panels like this one. I mean, what was going on here?
What do you mean? Wait, I might be slightly behind you visually. Oh, there. Okay. What do you mean? What was going on there?
Well, I mean, he just
hate them.
Hal sounds like he's really unhappy, and
poor bastard.
Yeah,
look,
this sounds like pretty negative to Hal. I don't know.
I'll tell you what. I said I'm never going to not say the same thing, okay? I don't fucking like Hal Jordan. I find Hal Jordan boring as a piece of cardboard, okay? But it isn't my job to like or dislike Hal. He has an established character. He exists in the universe. And unless I'm planning to kill him, right? Unless I'm going to make him into Parallax or something like that, where I'm going to corrupt the character, then he's going to show up and he's going to be Hal freaking Jordan. That's what I said every single time. And everybody's like, oh, and I'm like, I'm not, nothing against being quote unquote just a fanboy, but I'm not. It's not my job to do that. So Hal will be treated well. I've said on other interviews from time to time, people keep asking me this. Look, if you want to consider any of these Green Lanterns safe, the two Green Lanterns that are most safe in this run are going to be Hal Jordan and Rotlop Fan. Okay.
There you go.
The F Sharp Bell and Hal Jordan are the ones least likely to be maimed or killed. Okay. That includes John. That includes Kelly. That includes everybody except those two.
I mean, even Teen Lantern here is saying like, "What F that loser, Hal Jordan." I mean, that was a surprise to the dialogue.
You know what? I waited my whole life to get here to just really put the screws. If I could do one thing in my comic book writing career, it is to say "fuck you" to Hal Jordan in as many languages and as many ways as possible.
Yeah,
that's really what I really wanted to do.
I mean, even the Guardians are throwing shade, and then this scene with Sinestro where he just starts talking about kind of random social things, gun control. Like, I was surprised to see this in the comic. This was,
well, wait till next issue. The new Green Lantern uniforms are going to roll out next issue, and they're all Black Lives Matter T-shirts.
Oh man!
So
okay,
I'm just saying.
Others.
Buckle up, y'all. I'm just telling you, that's what it's going to be.
I was so close. I had this stuff, and I'm like, it's a dumb joke. I'll post it onto Twitter, but I knew somebody would like, oh fuck DC. This is what they're doing. I like parody across the bottom. It's anyway. Well, okay, so good stuff. I've had fun.
Who doesn't love it? Like these artists and the artists are so great. They're so great. Like the art that's been coming back has just been the like Marco's posting on his Twitter feed, like the line art. Yeah. I recommend everyone find Marco Santucci's Twitter feed, find his Instagram. That guy is a beast. Like, oh my God.
This is a question. Who designed the Yellow Lantern costumes? This diplomatic.
Oh, okay. This is their diplomatic dress, but this is an interesting backstage thing. Okay. What I wanted them to look at, like, was this is the kind of stuff that lets you know editorial is involved, deeply involved. My initial script had the Yellow Lanterns looking in old school traditional Mongolian dress, like royal dress. I wanted them to come looking really alien and looking really militaristic in a different way. And Mike was like, you're throwing a lot of stuff in here. I know that you have reasons for all this, but it's not a movie, basically.
Yeah.
He didn't say it that way, but it's like you have to rein some of this stuff back in because after a certain point, there's too much texture and people won't be able to see it.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, fair. Okay. So I just said, this is their diplomatic gear. They are here representing. There's some discussion about why would they even be there, but he runs a planet.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if it's a good planet or a bad planet. This is the United Planets. So he's the ruler of this planet. He gets a say. He gets a seat. So so that's what it is. So Marco designed them. I did. Sometimes I'll send little sketches, but this was a straight up Marco design.
Oh, very nice.
That guy's a beast. He's just a beast. I am humbled before him. He is ridiculous and fast, like really fast. Jesus.
How about that's important, but
yes.
So we are. Well, let me get this question out of the way. So Lazarus says, finished reading the comic, loved it. What part did you enjoy writing? Was there a scene that you particularly enjoyed?
Yeah. Yes. Like I like your show. I hope people don't lose their shit about this, but I'll be frank. I did not give two shits about the Teen Lantern when we started this. Like I was like, the Teen Lantern? Really? Like that exists? I thought that was a pun. Like, really? Like, and so I read the Young Justice stuff as part of my research. I enjoy writing those scenes with her in the Guardians. I enjoy writing her attitude about, I did not choose that cover. I did not choose that cover. I did not choose that cover. But I like writing her scenes because anytime you can throw a spanner into an established order, she's disruptive without being dangerous, right? She does stuff you're not supposed to do. She doesn't know the rules. And she has a temper and one of the most powerful weapons in the galaxy on her arm. So what's not to like once you get into it? Also, a lot that's been said on the internet, and I fell for it too, was she's basically Riri Williams or Moon Girl from Marvel stuck into DC Comics. But she's not some super genius who built her own tech glove and hacked the battery. I mean, I fell for that rumor too, but that's not what it is. So she's fun to write because she's basically an 11-year-old with a nuke on her arm.
Yeah.
Right? Like, who wants that? What made, I said this in the thing, they quoted me because I actually said this to them when they were showing me this. What maniac gave this child this weapon? Like, why would you do that? Yeah. So she's fun. And ironically, I kind of like writing Sinestro, which I really did not expect. Like, once you start to get in the head of the villain, you have to come up with reasons why they're the villain. You know, like he has to look in the mirror every day. I never understood why, even as a kid, why would Magneto name his team the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants? Like, do you think you're evil? Why would I join a team that thinks of itself as evil? Like, what? Okay, you know, that's what you're going to go with in your marketing scheme? Like, what? So he's got a point of view which will be explored a little bit. There are too many human Green Lanterns. I agree.
Yeah.
Too many Green Lanterns. Absolutely.
Well, you've mentioned before, and so if you've seen Geoff on the show before, he's been you're going on a killing spree, I believe you basically said.
Yes, there are too many human Green Lanterns, and since we're on a show that's about the backstage of comics as much as it is about anything else, we can all agree as fans there are too many damn human Green Lanterns.
Yes.
I will do my best to address that in multiple ways. I don't know that DC will let all of my solutions go through, but I promise you that there will be that particular issue will be addressed, directly addressed.
Yeah, because everyone we've interviewed lately, Perch and I, have had the same things where DC seems to de-uniquify all of their cool characters.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that. I talked with, I think part of what got me the job, which is really weird, considering they let Dan go, was I'm not a big fan of multiple Flashes. I'm not a big fan of multiple Kryptonians. I think there should be one of each, so that when you have a particular problem, your go-to guy or gal is that person. Like the whole big thing of can Superman outrun the Flash? Nope. Of course he can, because if he can, what's the point of the Flash?
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's it. Right. Thank you, Dr. Ogre.
A lot of nice comments, by the way. I'm missing like half of them.
I'm just like I'm looking at. I'm talking to you on Chrome, but I'm reading the page on what's the other one? The crappy one, Safari. So I'm slightly behind. So I won't be as kept up as I normally am.
No,
I'm with you, Joe. I feel like superheroes should be unique. I feel like each character should be somebody you can't get unless you go to me, right? Yeah. You can't win this thing unless, oh my God, we need somebody to shrink. How many shrinking guys do we know? We know one. His name's Ray Palmer, and we better find him. Mm-hmm. There's only one guy who can do that. There's not 90 people who can do it. And if we don't have him, we're going to have to figure another solution, because we really need Ray right now.
Yeah.
You know, I feel that the corporate side looks at it the other way. One Batman is great. So 90 Batmen, well, we'll just own it. You know, and I'm like, does it really work like that? I don't think so.
Yeah.
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 Well, it was a fun first issue. I do hope people 10 Rules of Life from Sinestro issue number 2. Absolutely. Jump into that controversy. Come on, man.
You know what? How dare you find my original draft? How did you get hold of that? Who's leaking my original drafts?
Well,
Stop it.
All I could say is, when DC Comics does shut down in July, just make the last issue. just have Sinestro say all these things and then just drop the mic and,
Oh my
and we'll go have a drink. So that's it.
You know what he's actually going to say? Sinestro out. That will be the last line
Perfect.
of whatever my last whatever my last arc is. The last line of the comic will be Sinestro out.
That is absolutely perfect.
Excellent.
There's a bunch of questions here about Archillo. And
yes,
so and I one just vanished off the top of the list, but Archillo and Guy Gardner had developed a friendship.
Right.
Is that something you're going to try and tackle? I mean, the problem with Green Lantern War is you can tackle everything for the next 50 years.
This is the thing. The soft answer is there's no reason I won't. Okay. There's been some questioning about what happened to, now it's going to go right out of my head, but the lady who was actually running the Sinestro Corps, his daughter, right, Saronic's Yellow Lantern Corps. Where is she? Why isn't she running it? Well, it's not an accident that she's not present. I am not a moron. I did not forget she existed. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Okay. And the same thing with little relationships like that. What we're trying to do is shake up the status quo of how the Green Lanterns function in the DCU. That is across the board shakeup. So little personal things will be shaken up, internal to the Green Lanterns and how they relate not only to the not only how they relate to everyone outside the Corps, but how the Corps relates to itself will also be shaken up. And things that go on with the Yellows will have some massive things that you are not expecting to have happen. I am not I'm not here to break the toys at all. Like, as I always say, Moore's Law, I coined it. Remember where you heard it, kids. Alan Moore took over the Swamp Thing, and the first thing he did was say everything that happened prior to me taking over this book is still valid and true. And then he proceeded to write the anatomy lesson. The anatomy lesson. It said, except it all now means this.
Yes.
So he didn't erase anything. Everything you love still happened exactly as depicted. It's just we didn't know that the bigger tapestry was. And now I'm going to show you that bigger tapestry. So I call that Moore's Law, which is don't come in and shit on the creations of the other people. You're allowed to do things, modify, have fights about, change, people can betray or change sides, things like that. But you can't say that didn't happen. Right. Yeah. And the canon is the canon when you get there. If you want to change it, you have to make the story change the canon. You can't just go, that never happened.
Good.
Right.
No, I think that's appropriate. Yeah. That's
right. So, yeah. And the death metal is great. And the death metal weirdness is they say everything's in. Like everything that ever happened. And I'm like, well, that's impossible. So that what really means is you can pick and choose. So there will be areas I'll explore that you guys will be like, why is he looking at that? And there'll be things where I don't look at something. Why did he do that? And it's just, there's only so many hours in a day, and there's only so much screen time a particular story can get. So I'm hoping this lasts long enough where we get to the second arc, which I'm already starting to map out. And some people that may be off the board for this arc, please don't assume I forgot about them and just swept them aside because I don't like them. Because once again, I am a professional, children. Don't try this at home. I have not forgotten any of these characters. I have plans for 100% of them. And even if they're not here in this arc, doesn't mean they've gone and they're never coming back, including Hal Jordan, who apparently I hate.
You do hate Hal. Yes, I
do. I'm going to wear T-shirts every convention.
Well, I mean, if DC would get their merchandise going, I mean, that seems like a smart thing to put on their website. But that's all a video for another time. Joe, are you? You're. We've talked a lot about different comics. We've rarely talked about Green Lantern, though. Are you much into the Green Lantern past?
Green Lantern's a bit of one of my blind spots. I've mostly just read, different events with Green Lantern, some like the Silver Age stuff, but. I don't know. It's just a book that I'm sure if I came in at the right spots, I'd really like it. Like with everything else I've done that with, but yeah, I'm a little spotty on that. But yeah, I mean, as a Legion fan, I enjoyed this.
Did you catch that Gildish band in the big splash page?
Yeah, I mean that. I mean, just talking about Bismol at all is, you know, it's let's more Matter Eater Lad rep, please.
You know what? Thank you for that. Bismalian front is happy with you.
Excellent.
Joe, what do you think? Who's the best comic writer who also does their own art?
Oh, geez, I mean, this is a whole can of worms because you know, if you're talking about stuff like that, then my mind starts going to, like, you know, Charles Burns pretty good at that. You know,
nice.
You know, it might be Charles Burns. You know, now you got me really. Walt Simonson.
Oh, Walt Simonson would be a good pick. Yeah.
You know, God, there's too many. You know, as much as I like Todd McFarlane's art, it's not Todd McFarlane. You know, he was brilliant enough to understand that early on with Spawn. But yeah,
I think John Byrne would be.
Oh, duh.
Yeah.
That was yeah, John Byrne. There's been a few times where Dan Jurgens has done that. Jerry Ordway occasionally.
Yeah, there's a big, you know, I think Michael Mignola has done a good job when he's written.
I hear people like that Frank Miller guy's done that a few times, and it's done well for him.
He's okay. He's coming into his own.
Yeah, he's going to have a future if he will just knuckle down a little bit.
Yeah,
he really has to focus. I think
just a little bit. You know, obviously, yes, George Perez. I mean, that Wonder Woman run. I mean, you know, I can start getting nitpicky and talk about how the heights of his Wonder Woman run were when either Len Wein or Mindy Newell were co-writing it with them, and yada yada. But yes, George Perez is definitely up there.
Yeah, Brian Lee O'Malley.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, Brian Lee O'Malley. I mean, a lot of manga artists would definitely.
Oh yeah. If you went over to manga, you've got tons. No, I'm not. Yes, I do like Sean Gordon Murphy, but I'm not going to say Sean Gordon Murphy. He's not going to be a complete stuck up. He definitely does good stories though.
Yeah, but no, there's a lot of good. I mean, you know, depending on who you're talking to, and all that's like, I mean, you know,
Matt Wagner.
Matt Wagner. Oh,
yes.
Wagner, you know, some of Daniel Klaus's work is
go on and on. Actually,
you know,
Dude,
you know,
that's a whole show.
Yeah, I mean, I loved A Velvet Glove Cast in Iron from him and some of his other stuff. Now I'm sounding like the kind of snob that appeals, you know, that Daniel Klaus would appeal to, the person who's like, oh, the band was really good for the first couple of albums, and then it was all downhill from there. You know, I liked him with you know, Velvet Glove Cast in Iron, but once it got to Ghost World, I was like, you're too mainstream, man. Like,
wow.
I do,
Starlin.
I do see the comments in the chat. By the way, I know that there's a little bit of background noise. I can barely hear it, but it's not a problem for me. But I notice the guy is mentioning a bunch. But
are they talking about my background noise?
They may. I don't know. It's not a
hold
big
on. Let me kill. No, I asked you before. Let me kill this fan. You guys keep talking.
But Darwin Cook with you know, New Frontier for sure. Yeah. I can't believe I didn't say Mike Grell yet.
Yeah.
You know, since I've often mentioned how much I love Sable, you would think I'd have mentioned that.
Oh yeah.
That's great.
Sorry though, I don't want you burning up there. I mean, he'd have the fan on.
Dude, I'll survive. Trust me. I wouldn't have done it if I was having a problem. Oh dear God! Oh, the heat! The heat!
This would be a good conversation with both of you. You should do that sometime. Just and also the people who you got a tiny taste of, like Barry Windsor Smith, I think.
Oh Christ!
Yeah.
Somebody said Darwin Cook, right?
Like, yeah.
Darwin Cook, sure.
Okay, yeah. I mean, hey, Colleen Duran.
Distant Soil's wonderful. That Jeff Bone was it not Jeff Bone? Jeff
Bone.
Jeff Smith.
Jeff Smith. Yeah, Bone.
You know, Yeah,
Oh,
that Jack
Scott-
Kirby guy a couple of times.
Yeah,
was
Jeff
our-
Scott
Thorne was a very
McCloud?
good comic. Yeah.
People forget about Scott McCloud and Zot.
Zot, Destroy. I mean, Destroy is fantastic
Oh
too.
shit! Yeah,
Absolutely, Kirby. I thought we mentioned Kirby already, but yes, absolutely Kirby. There's
I love Darkseid sitting at an office desk. It's-
what? You need to stop.
yeah, and
I still, all these years later, and by the way, Kirby is my ace. Like he is literally the
for
the
sure.
man. But I just refuse to believe he never did acid and never got high. I just
there has to be. Yeah,
he has to have been stoned for some of that stuff. Like, come on.
I would think so. Like,
But they claim no.
it's no, it's. I love you guys in the chat. By the way, it's wonderful.
yeah, no, but yeah, no, Kirby. Every once in a while too, you crack open a Kirby book and you're just like, oh yeah, that's right. That's
Right.
that's what everyone's been talking about.
Right. Jesus.
I
I like Jill Thompson, but
Yeah.
I don't always think her sense of humor. I don't always dig her sense of humor. But
Sure.
when she's writing serious stuff, yeah, I think she's top shelf.
Oh yeah, no, Jill's she's great. God, I'm trying to think because there really are so many. If you you really dig, I mean, even Gil Kane's written some of his own stuff.
Did he write Starhawks? Did he actually also write that?
I'd have to double check. I know he wrote some of that Superman stuff he did.
Sure. I ask you like you were there and you're really only 12 years old, which drives me insane.
That happens, but
Remember when we did that? I wasn't born yet.
and Howard Shakin.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Howard freaking Chaykin.
Yeah.
He's a monster. Oh my God.
There's a much longer list than I would have predicted when we started this.
Yeah, I think the economics also sort of force that though after a certain point. Like if you can write and you're really top shelf, why wouldn't you take both salaries? Comics don't pay very much.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
Paul Pope. Duh.
Paul Pope is in the
yeah, for sure.
Jolie
for sure.
Jones, who we talked.
How do you pronounce her name?
What's that?
How do you pronounce her name?
Terribly. I said Julie Jones, but that's not.
I don't know.
Wasn't it Joel?
It's Joel. It's Joel.
It reads. Is it Joel?
I thought it was Joel. I'm
Joel.
I'm holding right now The Girl Who Owned a City, which is one of Joel Jones' first published works.
Okay.
This came out, God, this was 2012.
Yeah.
So kids out there listening, it takes a while to break in. You could have this whole graphic novel and it's still like 6 years before she really blew up.
Yeah, she's talented as hell.
Daniel Warren Johnson's he seems like the not the modern version, but he's getting a lot of his stuff is very good. I've been really pleased with Daniel Warren Johnson lately.
What's his book?
He's doing the Beta Ray Bill book right now.
I haven't opened that yet. People love that.
It's really, it would be great if they didn't after the fact make it a King in Black tie-in.
Oh, totally.
What?
When you read it, they totally just changed some of the dialogue and did some like photoshopping to
clearly.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I would lose my shit.
That is the biggest drawback of that book is that it's unnecessarily tied in there, and it doesn't matter. King Black's over this week as well, so it's completely useless to have it tie in there.
Yeah,
Iron. I do not make it. Just 1 second for Mr. U Iron or Miss U Iron. I don't know. I don't make these choices, man. It's not up to me.
It's you.
It's not up to me. No one consults me about cover price. I have nothing to do with that.
No one consults you about covers. I mean,
no, exactly. My vote on the cover was one of, I'm guessing, 1,000 because that's not the one I would have chosen.
It's you got to hold that line. I mean, you're greedy. You're taking that extra $2, putting it in your pocket. I don't know.
Yeah, it goes right in my pocket. That's what's amazing about how the comic book business works. Is that I don't get paid until you buy the comics. Is what happens.
That's
no, for sure. But oh God, so there's some other art is like someone mentioned Keith Giffen, and it's like you would think 3 fans of Legion 5 years later would have mentioned him, but
Yeah.
You know what? It's funny because people forget. I think because he's been in the biz for so long, I think some people think of him only as a writer because of wherever they jumped into the business, and jumped into the fans reading comics, and even I sometimes forget that that he drew first. He was an artist first for a long time. I love Keith. I would say. Clearly, I love Keith. Like, if you want to read some of my playbook, Perch has already deeply read most of my playbook. You want to go check out his Legion of Superheroes. That's all I'm going to say.
I feel like Keith was really just as like out there in ways as like Grant Morrison and people like that, but for whatever reason, Grant got all the credit and attention while Keith didn't. And it's like, no, you read that stuff, and it's like that is really way out there. And
no, he was very. I think the difference though is that 2 things. One, Grant came in through Vertigo, essentially. Like, so you're expecting a different kind of crazy from them, and 2. Keith was very much like, I shouldn't say is. I don't want to oversell this. Like, he could be considered a role model for me because he plays very much within the lines, but it's like, you guys just never thought about this. So I'm going to think about it for you, and here's what we're going to do with it. Yeah. And it's always just cool. Like, but it's not the kind of cool that makes you go, oh, I wonder if I should try acid this week. Like, it's like, it just,
while we're on this too, we're talking about Vertigo as well. Question to both of you. The John Ostrander, Tom Mandrake, Spectre run is this thing that's kind of been forgotten by far too many people. And
these poor children.
And it was done through the main DC line. And I know from having talked to people that know John, that he fought to keep the book in the main line instead of having it go to Vertigo.
Good.
Looking back now, did that end up hurting the book long term because they would have maybe given it the time of day, or would it have ended up like Shade the Changing Man and no one would have cared or reprinted it anyway?
I'll bet you this goes a bit higher if it went to Vertigo. I know. I would have.
I guarantee that. I guarantee that. And I think also he might have been surprised at their level of artistic freedom. Like I agree with you. That isn't like a sleeper book, an invisible book. People don't remember how awesome it was. Yeah. But had it been a Vertigo book, I think what would have happened is what Perch said. More eyes would have been on it. More people would have bought it. It was absolutely an adult treatment of that subject matter in every good way. And I think Ostrander would also have felt within the first 6 issues, he would have understood, I have more creative freedom over here. And that would have actually made the book, I don't even know what it would have been, but like, I don't know how you would improve it, but it would have still improved because he wouldn't have had to worry about so much in terms of what is the age group of the target audience. Yeah. So, guys, if you haven't read this stuff, and go read their Martian Manhunter too. Yeah. Like, good God, that was a perfect comic book series.
Yeah. No, it really was. I think Vertigo would have helped, but that's interesting to think about. All right, so we should half the people here are very anxious to get to Dynamite's comics, but
Jesus, leave your fetish at home. Just leave your stupid butt fetish at home. Oh wait, you are all at home. Everybody's at home.
Yeah, that's the problem here. There are less comics next week. You'll notice we're down to 5 pages instead of 6. That's a plus.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know. It's shocking. Anything on this list here that either of you are tracking? Here's what's interesting. Zombie Tramp keeps slipping. So it has been on the comics for next week's list 3 weeks in a row. I don't know if it's a joke. This comic is never coming out. Maybe this is the secret to how it's gotten up this high. It's just not ever shipping. So
that's weird. I got to tell you, this is your first list where I'm not reading any of the books. Yeah, I'm not for any reason. I just haven't read any.
Yeah. my buddy David Pepos does Scouts Honor, so
Okay.
you know, so you in the chat do him the honor of checking it out.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I've seen some of the AWA titles, and I think they're still doing a lot of interesting things there. So I'm anxious to see that. I believe this cover, and this one I may be completely wrong. I think it's Paranormal Hitman that you're seeing here with the octopus back, and yes, that was a censorship bar there. So don't say
sure. Behemoth is an odd duck because they're just starting out. And they're kind of in this realm of like we're doing indie comics and we're also trying to grab licenses, and we'll see what shakes out from that.
Yeah.
Huh.
By the way, I got it wrong. The cover is "You Promised Me Darkness." It's the other Behemoth Comics book. So there you go. It's a number one.
That's a very bright cover for "You Promised Me Darkness."
Yes. They promised darkness and they did not deliver. So
yeah. How dare you? Where's my darkness?
How about over here, Dark Horse DC? You know, we get the first of Batman, the Dark Knight, which is listed as Batman the Detective in the solicitation. So this may be an old cover. I think
it's an old cover, but who knows what'll end up printed.
Yes, that's true. Jeff, that was one irritation I had on Green Lantern. The file
good. Let's hear it.
No, the file they delivered to Comixology for digital had the letters missing in like Dexter's name and like
Perch.
Yes.
I have nothing to do with the cover.
No, it's not. No, it's stupid. I don't know why they do this. I see it every time, and I'm like, why? And what?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like organizationally, stripping down has caused cracks like that, where there's either no time or there's no one to triple check things, and things, mistakes we're not used to seeing because we grew up with this stuff are now starting to happen.
It's
blame Jeff for the covers. They're all my job.
Yes. Fortunately, the printed version was correct, so that was good. But
that is good.
Yeah.
What are my thoughts on the round robin?
Yeah. Hold on. We'll show the round robin because I'm curious.
Yeah, let's get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Okay. So Sandman Lock and Key. That's
okay.
I've been seeing a lot of the work coming into this. It looks really great.
That's my stack. That's in my stack. I haven't got to it.
Nice.
Yep. Very anxious about that. Kanto has got starting with a new limited series.
Okay.
Couple of things in here.
No, David's great. I like David Boer a lot. I've been following him since he was doing like Powerless over at Vault.
That's so pretty.
Yeah.
So
look at that cover. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah. It's really nice. The interiors have been really, really good.
Nice.
For all this. So, all right. So Dynamite. Okay. So how does this week shape up? Well, Dynamite, which delivered a week last week, they do, they come back pretty good, with plenty of variants and other things. So there you go.
It's little booty. It's booby.
Yeah,
it's booby this week.
It is booby week. Yeah,
this is
very little butts.
It's a very tea heavy week.
Yes, it's a tea heavy. Yeah.
Well, if you have a brand, I guess you got to stick to it.
You got to stick to that brand. What is going on with the Red Sonja, the third one over there? Like her legs have gotten very, very thin. Like she would not be defeating anything.
Yeah, I don't think she can even lift some of the things she uses.
Well, the sword is hanging down there, so it's there's some problems.
All joking aside, and I don't read the book, but whoever drew that Days of Thor's cover, that is a dope cover. That's a very nice cheesecake shot.
The one in the very bottom there on the left as well is I don't think it's the same artist, but there's some that book is getting nice stuff. So no complaints. All right, there you go. Now people are saying we have a one-track mind. Yeah, thanks.
I do not have a. Never mind. I'm not even addressing that. I'm not even here. Whatever.
Okay. How about over here, Image and Marvel? Chip Zdarsky, I think he's doing a Spider Shadow, which looks like a great time for Peter there. Nothing like some
wow.
Blue. We haven't had
looks terrifying.
No, that's good. Spider-Man, Peter hasn't been going through the ringer the past couple of years, so
Yeah,
I'm glad he's getting a break.
I'm glad we're doing something with symbiotes because it's been a long time there too.
They don't really get enough to do, and it's such a big concept that you think they do more with the symbiotes. Really.
Absolutely. Something extreme.
Yeah.
Like really, really extreme. Really take over a whole city or a whole planet. Fill it. Never mind.
There's a crossover right there.
Some kind of crossover.
Just do a whole event where it's like the symbiotes took over 46th Street.
Now you're just talking crazy.
I mean, the West Coast has got none of this. It's always New York. But what about King in Black LA? I mean,
well, that wouldn't we're too lazy. That would be a very boring issue.
It would just be their car pissed about the traffic.
Oh yeah, I don't know how anyone could tell the difference. Frankly,
God damn it!
Everybody would just be King in Black LA. King in Black LA would just be LA. Only everybody's covered in goo. It would be no different, except everybody's covered in black goo.
Or you just do. What about King in Black? You go to the Midwest. King in Black Waukesha.
Yeah.
Well, wait. Where's my Great Lakes Avengers versus the King in Black? That's a book. I would want to see that. That would be hysterical.
It's Michigan. It's something like that. Everybody's covered in goo. It's a Dynamite book.
You got
Ash. Don't say Queen in Black like that. The gods are listening, and now, of course, there will be a Queen in Black.
Yes,
it's your fault. Everyone knows it will be. It is your fault.
Yes, Ash. Everybody blame Ash when we get the sequel Queen.
Yeah.
It's definitely.
But when they do, King in Black in the Midwest, have them eat it like a Culver's. They can have like a butter burger.
Exactly.
They could talk about the nuances between like a milkshake and a custard shake.
Ooh, yeah.
And no leaves in disgust. He doesn't even. There's never a fight in the entire book. He's just like, "Fuck this! I'm out. I'm out. I'm out."
What about a gala? Like a symbiote gala?
Oh dear God!
There we go.
Like?
That would be like 16 issues.
Chef's kiss.
Man, I'm digging nonstop Spider-Man, but only. I just love his art. So wherever he goes, I follow.
How long are you betting he's on that book?
2 more minutes.
2 more minutes.
Yeah, God damn it! Why wasn't he? Why won't he sit still?
I'll be on it about as long as Pepe Larraz is on the rebooted X-Men.
There you go. Yeah.
How
about
I'm well behind on that.
We got Darkhawk, Heart of the Hawk, kind of for this anniversary. Did you guys read Darkhawk back in the day?
I tried with that, but that was in that sort of weird era of Sleepwalker, Darkhawk. A couple of others came in there. I won't say that they were bad, but for whatever reason, they didn't grab me. I think I have the first 10 of both of those or whatever, however long they lasted. But I could just never get around. It was the same thing with the Space Knights. I was like, we already have a sort of robotic, faceless guy with Iron Man. I'm not certain. It just didn't grab me. I didn't care. I'm sure they were excellent. I just didn't care.
That wasn't something I really dove into. But hey, Children of the Atom 2, Daredevil 29, Iron Man 8.
Iron Man 8.
What's going on? Is this Fantastic 430? Is that some sort of milestone issue?
Is this the one where Dr. Doom's getting married, or
no? That's coming up later. He's
got
a couple more months before he gets married.
Oh,
Who
good.
would do that? That poor. She's the Queen in Black. That's the Queen in Black. Because who else would marry him?
I liked the idea of Darkhawk. So I can't even say it right. It's just those titles that, like you were saying, that whole era of titles, they put them out, and then the industry collapsed, and it's like it's not those titles,
right?
It's just
it's like just weird.
But they had Ivan Velez on Ghost Rider, and then the industry collapsed right before he could finish it.
Yeah,
happens.
It does happen.
Dark horror. Yeah, that's the natural conclusion there. All right. Last of our comics. Like I said, it's a smaller week. Valiant's got a comic coming out. It's a Christmas miracle. And
wow, Valiant has a comic?
They do, and it's the perfectly named Savage 2020.
Okay, I'm not reading any Valiant stuff. What's going on with them?
I mean, I have to assume this comic was planned to come out last year, or maybe not. I don't know, but apparently the guy gets a tan and a dinosaur attacks him.
Huh.
There's Money Man.
Wait, is Savage because they don't have the rights to Turok and they wanted to do Turok stories?
I guess.
Probably. Oh, because they have that weird land that was in like Archer and Armstrong where dinosaurs live.
Right.
It's probably
that's because Turok was supposed, right? He was the dinosaur hunter, but they don't have the IP anymore. So I'm guessing Savage is their answer to not having that IP.
Which is great. You have a Native American character you call Savage. That's a great plan.
Yeah.
Go crazy. Go crazy.
Have a ball. Who has Turok now? Because Dynamite had it, but I don't think they do anymore.
I don't know. I feel like that's a missed opportunity, frankly, if you got the right team on it. There's a niche market out there to fill with Turok Dinosaur Hunter. I thought that was a great book when it was out, but you need the right artist to be drawing it, and it has to be fun stories, not sort of dark, broody, whatever. Kid Turok, is that true?
Maybe. Mumbles wouldn't lie.
I have no frame of reference. Okay.
I don't know, but we're gonna just hope. Yes, I'll review those. All right. So in general, next week, a mere 78 comics, not counting manga. Only 22 publishers putting out stuff, 17 books from Marvel, and just some numbers there. Only 17 number one issues in 1 week. How about that?
Wait, what? Really?
Only 17. It's crazy.
What's a normal average week?
Well, unfortunately, the normal has been around 25.
Okay.
Which is a lot. And the average new comics, we're actually trending down. For many weeks, it's around 90 to 100.
Huh.
Which is a lot of comics.
That's a lot of comics.
That's too many.
Yes. And in fairness, I'm not putting in, I didn't get Oni in here, which would have easily bumped it up like another quite a bit. So,
what does Lion Forge put comics out anymore?
They combined with Oni.
Yes.
Oh, I know they absorbed Oni, so they're just saying, so if they put out anything, it'll come out through Oni now?
That is correct. I believe that is the brand they're going with.
Okay, fair enough. I like that 7 days thing Gail Simone did. I thought they were building up to something with that.
Yeah.
And yes, 17 number one issues. Yes. 17 brand new number one issues. Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Perch, I double checked, and it looks like Dynamite was the last publisher to have Turok, and they haven't done anything with it in 4 years.
Okay.
Maybe the license lapsed.
All right.
Maybe it did, Perch.
Yeah, maybe it did.
Yes, Perch. Maybe the license went somewhere.
Interesting.
Maybe it's just sitting there for an enterprising young entrepreneur to take a look at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could, let's.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
I have not read either Geiger or Noctura yet.
Yeah. All right. It's Joe's favorite topic. Curious to get your opinion on this, Geoff.
What? Oh, Lord. Bad pitches? What is it?
No. Well, yeah.
Kind of.
Oh,
actually, yes.
Wow. I opened myself up for that one, didn't I? Jesus Christ.
You walked into that so well.
Well, when you open the door that wide, you kind of got to step through it. What do I think about this? Let me make the screen bigger so I can actually read these.
Round robin. All right. So we finished our first round of voting. That was confusing. But...
All right, wait. Before you go on, what do the tagged titles mean? Are those the ones that went on, or are they the ones that lost?
Those are the ones that won. So Green Lanterns.
Okay,
so good news. You're going to have some competition. We have a Green Lanterns book coming out.
Bring it on.
It's going up against Zatanna and the King of Nightmares, which looks like the far better book. But anyway,
I would go for that one.
I mean, who would?
I would.
Come
Hey,
on.
that's the one I did vote for. That's the one I voted for.
There you go. You were responsible for beating Ambush Bug, and the creator hates you.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Somebody hates me over comic book issues? Just stand in line, my friend. Go to the end of the line.
We have Lobo Animal Man has advanced, beating the Son of the Creeper, which was the Eddie Brzezinga story, I believe. And then Robbins beat JLQ, which is what we've been hearing about for the last 48 hours. We have pause out Pet Justice League. It falls to Jesse Quick.
No.
Yeah.
Hard pass.
Yeah. We have a let's see here. The Night Runner book. Lost.
I voted for Night Runner.
Yeah,
I voted for Night Runner.
I definitely want to see Night Runner.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I wanted to see somebody do something with that. That was an interesting idea. I voted for Night Runner and for Zatanna. So one of my people got through to the second round.
There you go. The Suicide Squad. Oh, I've messed it up. See, the problem is on Twitter, it said that Swamp Thing won, but apparently in Instagram, Suicide Squad won, and there were more Instagram votes than Twitter votes, although those weren't very clear. So actually, this chart is wrong. It's Suicide Squad 7 that advanced.
Fair enough.
Yeah, there you have it. And
so now they're fighting each other. So that's the matchup.
Yeah, so we can go to here, and this gives us a much better view. You don't have to squint. So,
okay. 4
matches: Green Lanterns versus Zatanna, Lobo Animal Man versus Robbins, Blue Beetle versus Jesse Quick, and Superman Lois versus Suicide Squad.
Zatanna.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Zatanna would be my pick out of all these. What do you say there, Joe?
Yeah, just looking at this again. I mean, first off, I have a lot of problems with all this, but I will preface it. I will preface it with any kind of contest done like this. There are always lots of problems. It's not a unique DC problem. This is a running any kind of fan-based social media contest problem.
True. Yeah.
But I don't think it was very fair to have a bunch of people vote the first round without creative teams, and now we know the creative teams for the second round.
Yeah, that is. You guys should keep them clean. Either choose it at the beginning or choose it or tell us at the end. Don't.
Yeah.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
Because that really, like, there are a lot of things that, like, not. I'm going to avoid being cruel here, so I'm just going to say there are certain ones that, had I have known the creative team, I would have voted for or not voted for, because then I would have known, this particular artist I don't want to see on this book, or this particular writer, I'm not a fan of their work. I'm not gonna. Well, I can't believe I voted for a book that I didn't like the team, and it just makes it very weird.
I'm hoping that I don't see a matchup between Zatanna and the Blue Beetle book, because the art on the Blue Beetle book is tasty.
Yes, Blue Beetle artwork does look really good, and Adrian's a good talent, actually.
Well, here's the problem too. I really like Josh. I know Josh personally is a cool guy, and then he's up against here Stephanie Phillips.
Right.
The problem now is when you do a contest like this. When I'm voting, I'm not every voter, but for me, it's like, even if I like Jesse Quick, my thought is, in voting, the worst thing that happens if Jesse Quick gets knocked out is Stephanie has to go back and just write all the other books at DC she's already writing.
Right. She doesn't lose anything.
Yeah. Whereas Josh doesn't have, as far as we know, any other announced books at DC at all. So I would feel like, well, if I don't vote for Blue Beetle, like, worst case scenario for Josh is he doesn't have any DC work. So, it's a weird position to put people in, I feel.
Well, another thing that goes back to what you said before too, that if I don't know who the teams are, I don't have to concern myself with that. But also the people on those teams don't have to concern themselves with that. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have to. I'm sure they're biting. Some of them are biting their nails, like, but it's not her livelihood. Nothing against her.
No, absolutely not. I enjoyed her work.
Yeah, she's great, but if she loses, it doesn't cost her anything.
Yeah.
It's does it also seem like in the second round, you're voting for a winner, but you're also voting for a creative team not to get paid.
Well, that's the nature of the game, my friend. It's zero sum. Someone gets a job, someone doesn't. So.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems kind of like I don't know. I have a feeling, just speculating based on how the first round went and some of the comments that were being made, that a few of the votes maybe were cast as anti-votes to another pitch.
Wow.
Hypothetically.
Well, I know that JLQ was definitely going to be controversial. So, no. I mean, I don't know why.
That's crazy talk.
Well, I mean, I didn't find it controversial personally, but I knew that adding them in, I'm not certain it was. Well, it's weird. If you don't add them in, then you're not pushing the envelope. If you do add them in, you understand you're going to get this weird backlash that's going to offset the rest of the test.
Maybe an idea is you could just have a Justice League book, and then you have those characters in it, but you don't actually have them run around saying it's Justice League queer.
Well, there's that.
Just as an idea.
I am of an opinion, and I've said this before, and people get mad, but I don't care. You never, as much as it's weirdly right now, it's a complete coincidence that we have 3 brown or 4 brown protagonists in Green Lantern. I did not set out to do a Green Lantern book that had that many non-white people in the front. But that said, I didn't say no to it when DC kept folding in characters. And the response to that is, when it was all white guys, I wasn't mad at the book. Like, when the book just white guys, it certainly didn't stop me from buying the freaking book. I think, though, if I said this was Avengers black people, I might draw the line, right?
Yeah.
Like, I might not do that. But then on the other side, I liked A-Force. So I think if the story warrants it.
Yeah, but it was A-Force, and then the characters were there. But that came a little bit later. And actually, I think the sales suffered when they put more into it later. When there was a whole Secret Wars thing, it was A-Force. And then it was not solicited as it's all chicks. It was just A-Force. And then later they did that kind of with the ongoing series, and the sales were arguably terrible.
Sure.
Yeah. I think if you're going to brand something Justice League white guys, I think that's not going to help sales.
No.
What was it? The Fearless Defenders? Was that just led by women, or was that all women?
That was all women.
Yeah. And it wasn't marketed that way. That was a great book. That was a great freaking book.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, what was it? Kieran Gillen's Young Avengers with Jamie McLeavy, I think, was majority queer, that team.
Right.
But they didn't market it that way.
I think only one character at the end, right? I think they kind of... Yeah, there was a joke that like Kate Bishop was the only straight one there, but maybe she wasn't. I mean, I think that...
that's fucking hysterical.
I remember it was like that. It was right on the end. They're like, she's like, I'm the only straight one on the team. And they're like,
and I like that run. It was fun.
Yeah. But it's a thorny question, right? Because why shouldn't we advertise that way? Like, I can see the conversation being like, look, this is what the book is. It tells you exactly what it is in the title. Why shouldn't we advertise it that way? And then old fuddy-duddies like us come out and go, well, look at this other book that was that, and it didn't advertise that way. It got a lot more eyes on it and wasn't considered controversial. So what do you do? Like, how do you thread that needle? I don't know that you can easily.
I think it's a losing proposition to brand it that way. I don't think it ages well. And years later you're like, wait, Justice League white, what? Like it would just be weird. I think you tell a powerful story. It could be like, I think most people, or a lot of people, remember Kieran Gillen's Young Avengers fondly. Yeah. And it wasn't called Young Avengers, mostly queer people.
Right.
Yeah, I get it. It's tough, but I do understand that there's also a counter argument. I think it was Dwayne McDuffie who said, as soon as you have three, like once you get 3 black characters on a book, it's a black book.
Yeah, that's a rule in Hollywood. I hope it's gone by now, but that was an old Hollywood rule.
Yeah.
Like, and it's bullshit. But the other thing is, I'm 50, so, or 51. Got to stop lying. But do younger people, if theoretically, if that's the audience we're targeting, 18 to 34 or something like that, if we're targeting them, is there dialogue about these subjects? Does it warrant? Are we making something that doesn't actually exist? Is it actually controversial? Calling it Justice League queer, is that only controversial because I'm middle-aged? Is it truly controversial? Do 20-somethings give a shit? Is that just a title to them?
That's a good question.
I don't know. So
the funny thing is, over time, if that book came out and JLQ is, I don't know, Jim Lee's doing the art for it, and it's 12 issues, and they have a great story, they do amazing things and everything else, people would forget any controversies very quickly because it was a good book. And I think that it's one of those things where it feels like a crutch that may help with some initial buzz, but it's a double-edged sword. You get as much negative feedback as positive, and then over fairly quickly nobody would care anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, like what's your well, again, these are interesting questions because I've been reading a lot. I spend a lot of time on CBR. I don't do a lot of the all of the various places one could be, but I'm a long-term CBR resident, so I just never stopped doing it. And there's been a lot of negativity about the way Coates did the end of his Black Panther run, where it was basically Black Panther's Avengers, and it was basically just grabbed up every black superhero you could think of and said, "Come to Wakanda and help us fight these guys." Yeah. And I was like, but why would he do that? Wouldn't he strategically choose the most powerful, best people for the job? Like, why would he do that? I can see why an American black guy might do that. I'm just going to call my black friends, but Africans don't feel that way about race. That's a very Western thing. Right?
Well, yeah, you're exactly right. So in Black Panther right now, in that comic book, the alien invasion is coming, and T'Challa has gathered all the black superheroes to fight something that's going to blow up the planet. And it's like, you lead the Avengers. You also
call Thor, dude. Call Thor. Call Doctor Strange. Right? What are you doing? Like,
the problem is it blows up the book because they're giving speeches like, this is a very serious moment where the entire reality could be destroyed. It's like, then call Thor. I'm glad you got Power Man over here, but dude, he's not been fighting for very long. Get Thor.
Was he the best choice? Like I'm not saying anything. I'm saying that it's hard to. Each writer comes at this stuff with a different what do you call it, toolbox, and I wrestle with these issues all the time. Like not in terms of my personal life. I know where I stand on all of this stuff, and anyone who reads my shit knows where I'm at. But in terms of marketing it, in terms of pushing the needle in some particular direction, in terms of acceptance, in terms of diversity, I want more people to read Justice League Queer. So if someone's sitting there going, all right, this is a book about all these various kinds of queer people in a Justice League team, right? I want to advertise it firstly to the people like that who might not pick up a comic because they never see themselves in that comic. I want it right on the front. This is what this book is about, because I don't want to hear any bullshit later. Like, oh, this was secretly Justice League Queer. Right, I don't want to hear any of that. I can understand that motivation, but on the other side of that, if you gave it this is terrible. Remember that terrible Sixes logo?
Yeah. Oh God,
what was it really called? Was it called Sixes? I kept calling it Sixes because it looked like sixes. But the point is, if you gave it a title that was just cool, whatever it was, and then as I'm reading the book, everyone's queer, then you might lose a couple of people. But the vast majority of people won't care. They'll just be reading a book, like you said, with Young Avengers.
Sure.
So, like naming your book Bitch Planet, you're telling kids you're not reading this book.
That's right.
I love Bitch Planet.
Sure.
And I know she made that decision on purpose, right? But
when it came out,
it's a very clear choice, is my point. So
it's funny though, because like I think I joke with Perch about this before too. Without knowing the creative teams, it would have been funny in a way if it was like, oh well, you guys got Justice League Queer now by Scott Lobdell and Brett Booth, and you could have had Robins with Cena Grace and Sophie Campbell.
exactly.
Right?
Right.
It's like, oh no, like
yeah. What have we done? What have we rocked?
We tricked you. That's what we did.
Editorial strikes again, right? I want everyone on the stage that wants to be on the stage. I definitely want that. I just feel like, for whatever reason, marketing needs to be a little less thumb in the eye. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree. Yeah.
There's another way to do it.
I like this. What you want is Justice League $1.99.
That too.
Me too.
Oh, that would be great.
That's much better than Justice League Moist over here. That's
whoa!
Terrible idea.
Let's all slow down. Yeah, like, can we drop the freaking prices? That would be helpful.
Yeah,
love that.
Let's try that.
Justice League newsprint. How about that?
We want Justice League newsprint. No, not Justice League Depressed by Tom King.
No, oh dear God.
Come on. Justice League Wankers. All right, what else? Justice League Furry. Yeah, okay.
Justice League Furry would do surprisingly well, and we wouldn't talk about it.
Yeah, you only think you're joking with that.
Oh no, I thought I understood.
That would do well.
We had that conversation with Sean Murphy about original art, and he definitely introduced me to some horrors there.
Those furry commissioners, they have money. And I know more than a few artists who are like, yeah, I don't advertise it, but I do furry commissions.
Dude,
they're just like, I got to get the money. Like,
when I was broke trying to break into writing, one of the things I did I don't know who it was, but a friend of mine's like, look, if you'll do this, you'll get $50 per drawing of feet. And I will bring you photos, and you will turn those photos into inked or painted art. Like, you will just do whatever. And I was like, that's it? And I was like, let me see these photos. And they were just photos of feet. They weren't even like, they weren't feet in like a high heel. I mean, sometimes, but very rarely.
Everyone in that was holding their breath for where that story was going.
Yeah, but Jeff,
like, somebody out there really likes feet is my point. Because I wasn't that good a freaking artist, and I made a bunch of money, $50 a page, drawing those damn feet.
Jeff, you never told me you did freelance work for.
Oh my! It's gonna be. I'm gonna go to Quentin Tarantino's house one
day.
Yeah,
exactly.
All my art's gonna be on the fucking wall.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Justice League drinking. That's what you're watching right now.
That's literally what you're watching right now.
It absolutely is.
I'm Alfred. I'm Alfred, their butler. I bring them I bring them the trays.
Jeff and Joe, intentional or not? Are you ready? We got 3 of them.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go.
Bring it. All right, here we go.
Wait for it. Let me get on the right.
Oh, you're on the wrong one.
I'm behind you guys. Hold on for a minute. Let me get on the other. Hold on. Bless my heart.
Was that when William Marston was still writing it?
Yes, I believe so.
Then yes, that's intentional.
All right.
Yes, intentional, absolutely intentional.
Not for talk. You don't talk with that mouth. Come on.
Come on. Look at the dialogue.
Yeah,
I need my mouth free, but not for talking. Come on.
Yeah. I hear that every day. Yeah.
Come on.
All right, we're going intentional there. Okay. How about this one here? Good old Archie.
All right, Archie. Let me see what you got. Come on, Arch. Roll through. I'm a second. Oh, there we go. Okay. What's up? You and I are going to... All right, look. I think unintentional.
You're going unintentional on this.
I'm with you. I think that's unintentional.
I don't think they try that with Archie. I think they're good people. I don't think that I think it's an accident. I think somebody was having some fun there. I think really?
Yeah, I know. These characters now clearly they're going to do paint stripping or something like that. But it's written this way. I'll bet the writers they knew exactly what they were doing there. Because you say you and I are going to do some housework, you guys are going to do some paint stripping. But you and I are going to do some stripping. They're both grinning. They know exactly what they're doing.
You think?
I think this is like
Veronica.
Yeah, I think that it's like the Disney animators making the Little Mermaid house look like a penis. That's what I think.
Do they even have genitals under their clothes? Like, I don't know that they even have. They're like Barbies, aren't they?
I mean, if the internet teaches you anything, they definitely have genitals. It's.
I don't need to see that or know about that. I was only joking.
I mean, we can do a Google search right now and get that answer.
No, I'll pass. Hard pass. Don't destroy all my childhood.
What would you? There's plenty of material for us. All right, last one here. I'm curious now. Green Lantern. It's okay. Throw back to Hal. What's going on here?
Wait. I haven't caught you yet. I'm slightly behind. Wait for it to catch.
That feels intentional.
Without my power ring, I'm super powerless, except for the waist down. Yeah, that's on purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see him winking almost.
Yeah, this is an older comic, but I mean, you wouldn't write it this way. Like you were.
Yeah.
And now I feel like as the writer of Green Lantern, you have to figure out how to get this line as a tribute into the comics.
You are high. You know what? Just for that, every time Hal appears on screen from now on, he's just going to say that line.
That would be great.
Regardless of context, he's just going to say that over and over.
Well, in June, since that's the last month you're publishing the comic, you should have
exactly that.
Have Kilowog come out here and say that. That would be very funny.
Look, if we're going to be friends, you've got to stop telling people my plans before I drop the fit. Like, I'm not going to show you anything if you're going to just do this with it.
Yeah, it's some good stuff.
I love this shit. No, I there's no way that's not intentional. Come on.
I have so many of the. I thought this would be a funny bit, and I just started grabbing captions, and I think I have easily 80 of these.
Wow,
you can go on forever.
You have too much free time.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yes.
Oh, by the way, your daughter is adorable.
Oh, that's
like
nice.
Those things where she's talking about stuff. I love it. Those things are great.
I'm gonna keep her doing stuff like that. She loves it. She likes to be on the channel. She likes to do stuff, and then she wants to know how many likes. Speaking of which, like the video. But then there's always the two people who come in and downvote everything, and she's like, "Do they hate me?" Like, oh
no, honey, no.
Learning that lesson.
They're just evil trolls. You'll learn about them.
I'm like, it's your sister who's screwing with you.
It's really your sister. Oh my god!
Exactly. That's exactly what's happening.
That's hysterical.
All right. I want to get to before we get to the old comics. We've got a bunch of. Actually, I was thinking about this when I put this together. We're at this weird. By the way, that's one crazy bulge in Jupiter's Legacy down there. But,
oh God!
Actors.
You cannot unsee it. We're at a weird, a wonderful time actually. We've got major independent filming. You've got the Marvel movies, you've got the DC movies, we've got stuff that to Mark Millar, however you like to pronounce it.
Right.
You got stuff from him. You've got Invincible. There's so much content now. It's we're living in that times.
It is crazy time. I'm hoping a bubble doesn't pop before I get up there.
Yeah.
All of these are great. I haven't seen Jupiter's Legacy, obviously, but I can't wait to see Suicide Squad, a sentence I never thought I'd say out loud. Invincible is, I think, Invincible is a chef's kiss.
Oh yeah,
and I'm one episode behind on the Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I've been very carefully. I don't know, whatever. It's all based on 1980s and the early 90s stuff. But do you guys have this vibe like when you watch these movies that it's almost like watching home movies, but you didn't realize somebody else had a camera that day? Like you've seen all the whole movies, but someone's going to show you the same thing, but from a different angle because they were on the other side of the yard. So they're showing you stuff you already know, but I do
have that feeling. And also that I'm a little drunk at the time because they're doing it badly.
It's
and usually I'm drunk. So
I'm interested to see what Jupiter's Legacy is all about. I wasn't a huge fan of the comic, but I also wasn't a huge fan of The Boys, and I love the show. So Yeah, bring it on.
Jupiter's Legacy comes out next month, so it's the trailer dropped, and I know Mark Millar is insanely excited about it. He is so he can't wait for you to see it. I will tell you, he's so excited.
It's nice to know that someone who's already seen his work on the big screen multiple times isn't jaded about it.
How could you be? Look at this. Aside from the giant bulges, how could you not be thrilled? All of us got into this because we loved it as kids. Whatever you say about Millar, and there are a lot of pros and cons about him that people have said, I've seen. You can't say, I've said this before, you can't say he didn't love it, whether you like his take or not, right? He loves it. And if you work that hard on something you love and then it sort of reaches the biggest possible audience, like what's big? Video games arguably could be bigger, I suppose. But
yeah,
we didn't grow up with video games. Like I don't attach as much. Like if someone said you got a video game coming out, I'd be like, oh, great. Yeah. You know what I mean? Someone says you got a movie coming out. Oh, hell yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, God bless. We'll keep it coming. Like, let's not have it suck. Like, if we get 5 of them in a row where they just suck, that'll be the end of this genre.
That's exactly right. And I worry this year for Marvel's tough. I mean, I think the TV's one thing, but I think Widow's going to suffer from being delayed. And then you got Eternals, which is going to be really experimental they got to land that one. I feel like Marvel's this is a risky year for them.
Do you think, I felt that way when they, again, we're all comic book people. So when how you felt when they said they were doing Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah. I thought that was a risk.
The giant groan that went out through all comic fandom, wait, what? You're doing what? You could have done anything. Why would you choose this? Right?
It was such a risk. It paid off. This one seems like it's a step further. I'm curious to see how the year delay hurts them. Is it going to throw them off their stride? It's WandaVision did well. I think Falcon Winter Soldier is a little bit that one's that's an odd one. I've been in. From my perspective, I've been enjoying it less every week, and this week.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so I'm curious. Joe, you've been watching it every week, right?
Yeah, and I know Geoff hasn't watched yet, so I'm not going to.
Oh,
talk
poor
about
me!
This most recent episode. Well, it's just it's kind of been like that for me. Like there's still this. It's at a point where something big can shake it up and really make it into something for me, but it's been losing me more and more every week. It's still enjoyable. I'm still liking it. I'm gonna finish it. It's not like I'm done and rage quitting the.
It's too normal, right? Don't you find that it's too traditional? It's a traditional show with superheroes in it.
It's too normal. And then I made the mistake of, in preparation for this, rereading the Grunwald run.
Okay.
So I was I'm excited about this. I'm going to do it. And the comic, that run for me is just so much better.
Yeah.
That I'm just
is that the Power Broker stuff?
I read all the way from 312 with the first appearance of the Flag Smasher through 350. Okay. So we had Flag Smasher, Power Broker, John Walker, all that stuff. I read it all.
Right.
And then I'm watching this and I'm like, it just handled it better in the comic,
You've just read it recently. This is all years ago for me.
Yeah.
They're in my storage facility. I haven't touched these things in years. But wasn't that a Captain America story?
It was a Captain America story, but he lost. He wasn't Cap anymore. So
right, he was just the captain. He was wearing the black uniform. Right. Yeah, but he doesn't exist in this story.
He doesn't exist in this story, which is, that's part of the problem.
Yeah, but, that's what I think the problem is.
But there are other parts of it too where it's John Walker is just so much better in the comic.
Yeah. I mean, but I don't know. Has Marvel released any kind of omnibus edition of that era?
There are literally 0 omnibuses of that era. Most of the trades are out of print, but they just reissued the Captain trade but it starts from issue 333, even though 332 is the issue where Cap gives up the shield.
That's bizarre.
It's awesome play. Yeah.
That's bizarre.
They are getting some more material out in August.
Yeah.
So once the show has fully finished, then striking while the iron is hot, they'll put other stuff out.
And don't even get me started again on the whole. They didn't reprint Captain America Truth at all, and this was
that was an error. That was a huge error. They would have made a mint on that.
They absolutely would have, and I'm sure Bob Morales' family would have really appreciated it.
Yeah, right. No joke. But you guys talked about that before, like it's screwing up people to keep them from getting their royalties.
Like, oh yeah.
What?
It's Invincible has been. I've enjoyed Invincible. I do think somebody in the chat said the voice acting has been a little weird. Some of the people they picked are tough for me to wrap my head around. But I've been liking that. The comment earlier, though, that, hey, all these superhero shows, it's really awesome. You really couldn't show any of these to your kids.
Not these. Not the ones that are on the screen right now. I'm trying to think.
Well, I started My Hero Academia season 5. That's what that's what we've gone with.
I don't hate Teen Titans Go. I think some of it's really good.
No, Teen Titans. My daughters love Teen Titans Go.
And the live action stuff, though. None of the the Flash you can show kids. I think, depending how old they are, they might get bored if they're too young. But
I'd rather watch Teen Titans Go than the live action Teen Titans.
Well,
I would agree with that.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. I can't comment because many of my friends write these shows. But I think it's so hard. All right, full disclosure, I don't like the Snyderverse. Okay?
Sure.
I didn't like Man of Steel. I didn't like any of that nonsense. And I know a lot of people love it. I'm not saying you're crazy. Yeah. I'm just not one of you. Right? Yeah. And I feel like
I got it.
But I feel like the sort of shadow of the Snyderverse colored a lot of the treatment of that stuff that wasn't the Berlanti straight to the CW stuff. And that's good or bad. If it's good, it's when you are applying it to characters that are already dark. And if it's bad, the Teen Titans is a hopeful book. Or at least it started that way. And the Titans they were using and the era that they were mining, that was a hopeful era. So if you're going to tell this dark sort of story about these kids, I'm not sure. It's almost like the ship left the dock and went the wrong way right away, because all the writers are good. I think all the actors are pretty good. It just has a tone that I'm like, this is kind of bleak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's the Teen freaking Titans. That's just not a bleak thing. It's not bleak. It's hopeful. So,
it's like the Judas Contract works because most of it isn't bleak.
Thank you, Caleb. Yeah. Exactly that. And but if you look at Doom Patrol, which I don't know that I'd show to kids, is perfect. It's a great show. But I don't know if you can show it to kids.
I don't know if they would get some of what's going on either. But my god, I mean and there are so many great Doom Patrol comics. That Silver Age run is one of the best Silver Age runs that DC did. I love that run.
I think, though, what we're saying is, and if for anyone were listening to this, there's an opportunity here if someone were smart, right?
Many opportunities.
Kids can't watch it, and it doesn't have to be a cartoon. There's an actual opportunity here. But will anyone take it? I get Stargirl. Can you show that to kids?
Yeah, you could probably do Stargirl. Again, kind of like Flash, they might get bored, I think.
Yeah, because a lot of talking and not a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And somebody pointed out, you don't have to make all these shows for kids, and I'm glad for that. I don't think you have to kidify all of them.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's just tough, yeah.
The fact unwatchable? Wow.
What's unwatchable with Stargirl?
Apparently Stargirl is unwatchable.
Oh my god. But you know what? they're leaving, like,
Holy-
DC is leaving money on the fact that there isn't already a Super Sons cartoon on
Oh,
HBO
no
Max.
shit.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like,
but you
wait,
don't know. It
yeah.
could be in the works. It takes a
It-
long time to make animation.
That's
That's true.
fair, and it should be, because that's just leaving money on the table, because that is perfect
Oh
for
yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
Perfect.
They haven't been advertising Simon. Simon is a player in the Green Lantern. Simon
Yeah.
will be a player in the Green Lantern. I have plans for our friend Simon.
By the way, people are listening to this later on podcasts. Well, I don't know why you do that though, because so much of this is visual. But this show would make no sense actually as an audio.
Yeah,
podcast.
right. Like what?
You would miss all the butts. I don't know what would you be doing. Yeah,
Would we miss them? Would we miss
Well,
them? Is that really what you want to say?
I think the chat would miss the butts.
The
know
chat
what?
would miss the butts.
Chat would miss the, not me, of course. No,
Yeah, no, not myself. I'm anti-butt.
no, sir. Yes.
How dare you, sir?
How dare you? Well, some good shows out there. I'm Jupiter's Legacy, I think will be quite good. I think so I'm anxious to see what he can do there. And honestly, this stuff is good. If he can build up a little universe over there, get Netflix, get some more attention.
Facts.
We need more. So
Yeah.
Isn't Huck in the works too?
Huck and
I heard
Starlight
that.
and
I heard that. Yeah.
yeah, I think
I
Huck,
genuinely like Starlight a lot, and I
Yeah.
would like to see that.
yeah.
Thank
both
you,
of
Mr.
those are-
Todd. Thank you for that, Mr. Todd.
Yeah, well, I'm not getting all the good comments. All right. By the way, will I be tomorrow with Joe? No, my daughter is actually competing in a gymnastics tournament, so I'm going to be
Aw.
dad tomorrow. I will not be on the chat tomorrow. Sorry about that.
I should be there tomorrow.
Joe will say butts many times, and we'll carry that legacy forward. Yes. That's what we'll do.
Fine.
Very good. All right. And then
Now what?
I always liked with you guys. Comics, this is stuff of the future. John Romita Jr. coming back to Marvel.
Yeah.
A lot of talk he may do X-Men. This cover was one of my favorites that he did.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah,
He's the best at what he's. Oh God, I'm sorry. I drank too much for a loco.
you did.
He's the best at what he does, and what he
And
does
what
is
he
draw
does-
Wolverine.
That's so funny. I mean, I can't say that's part of my era. So I love that. I would love to see it. I will never ever not love the bar fight where Wolverine lets Juggernaut beat the crap out of Colossus to teach him a lesson. Come on, that was gold. Anyway, yeah, I'm happy about it. Why not? If that's where he wants to be. It's weird. I feel like this is with all the Bendis hate. I feel like JR is getting a lot of hate too.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's like if you last long enough, they start hating you. And I don't get it.
For that. Yeah. I think it often turns around. I mean, people think fondly of Byrne, but Byrne definitely had an era where people hated him. Like he was, when he was on X-Men, there was a lot of hate.
Yeah, and John Byrne had an era where he hated everyone else.
He's still
I think old JB, he did that to himself.
That's true. Yeah. John Romita Jr., I always felt like, forgetting everything else, I think that pairing with Bendis was a bad plan because Romita's art looks better usually when it's got lots of room to breathe. Bendis tends to be very text heavy. That just always felt like a pretty bad match.
Yeah. I'm reading through the Jurgens Thor run now since Glenn Greenberg brought it up in that interview we did the other week.
Yeah.
And John Romita's I'm still through the John Romita part of it, and looks fine to me.
No,
it's I mean, I don't know. I want to see who's inking him. I'd want to see how it's colored. What he tends to lean towards the epic these days. I want to see what kind of story that will be. If it's what Perch said, if you pair him up with the right guy or lady and they tell that right story, his artwork, people will be like, why don't I remember loving him? And if they put him on the wrong story,
I agree. I would like to see, will he be on the new Hickman book? I don't want to see him with Hickman. I think that's kind of like Bendis. I think that's a bad pairing again. If you're still doing X-Men Legacy, or you're doing that book, like give Romita and Claremont 6 issues to do something fun. Like let's
Dude, I think that's a license to print money, frankly.
do that. Like just
Yeah.
get Johnson in there.
All right, I got a question. I got a question for you, Joe, because you're our and both of you, but Joe, I think you have all the backstage scuttlebutt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So here, I saw this in one of my feeds. So Hickman's leaving the X, right?
Yes.
He's off to do something. And there's also all this weird controversy because they're the X-Men, and apparently that's now problematic. Do you think that his new title will be called The Mutants, and it'll just be more X, but it won't be called that, so they can segue away from calling it the X-Men by the time there's a movie to come out?
I think there's what's likely going to happen is either we're going to get the Moira X book finally, or he is going to be like transitioning into the role of just writing the events, and this book is just going to be the event. It's not gonna. It's gonna be X-Men blah blah blah. It's either gonna
I think that's exactly what's coming.
So you don't think they'll do away with the X-Men title because it's too branded?
I spent too much money getting that. So I don't see that happening. But also in other news, I really like that Avengers issue. I read that one recently.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Yeah, it's a good time.
This is been with running the team, I believe.
Wait a minute. Yeah. This is another one, Joe. You can solve this one for me. Okay. So Scarlet Centurion, Kang, and Immortus, they're all the same guy at different ages. Is that right?
God, who it was?
Who's the other one? Not Doom.
No, they
Romita.
Yeah, Romita, who Doom thought he was Romita, but no, he's
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Romita, Kang, Immortus, and what did I just say? And Scarlet Centurion. They're all the same dude at different ages. And
God, what was the young Kang and Kid Avengers?
Iron Lad.
Avengers. Iron Lad. Yeah, Iron Lad is also Kang.
Yep.
Oh fuck me.
So there's like 5 Kangs.
Fuck me. God damn. That's too many Kangs. That's not even counting the Council of Kangs. That army of interdimensional. There's too many goddamn Kangs. God damn it.
Well, since the guy who's on the Green Lantern title now, come on.
There are too many Green Lanterns, which is why. Wait, what? What's that? I hear somebody calling me. I have to go away. Oh, they're
kill off the Green Lanterns. You come over to the Avengers. You kill off the Kang. You can just be that.
Oh my God. I will be happy to come in with my death scythe and murder out. Yeah, Crisis on Infinite Kang. You think you're kidding? You're so not kidding.
Somebody, well, Paul Kupperberg in the interview said that he's known as the serial killer writer. So
I didn't realize how many people he'd taken out.
Yeah,
I love how proud he is that they never brought back Adrian Chase.
Very proud.
Yes, I killed him dead. Is that Milgrom on the Incredible Hulk trying to do Burn?
Yes.
Okay. I was never a fan, so sorry about it.
I wish Milgrom. I liked some Milgrom stuff, and then he did try and really. He got into a house style thing. It was wrong. Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
Al Milgrom to me is like when I pick up a Batman comic and it was Irv Novick illustrating it, and I'm like, it's fine. I said this somewhere else too. I was like, when you pick up like an issue of like Batman in the 70s into the 80s, and it's like, ooh, it could be, Neil Adams, Marshall Rogers, Jim Aparo, Don Newton, Gene Colan.
Don Newton. Don fucking Newton.
Don Newton's crazy.
Jesus Christ, that guy was good. Holy crap.
Yeah, and then you pick it up, you're like, it's an Irv Novick Batman.
Bait and switch.
But Jim Aparo did the cover.
Nope, not good enough. Damn you! You've betrayed me again. Damn you! You failed me again, Jim.
How about Superman fighting He-Man here?
I got to say that was a hard pass because He-Man was present.
Very good
for me.
I like how Superman's freaked out. Like he's like,
Yeah,
Skeletor.
oh dear God.
Superman's like, shit, I'm gonna get my ass kicked here.
Yeah, well, no.
Well, they
It's
finally
He-Man.
gave Wonder Woman a third book there.
Yeah, that's right.
Book 3. About time.
Countdown to Chaos.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Isn't that Wonder Woman and just a bunch of chicks fighting?
It is. It's Wonder Woman's
Some
April.
dude?
Yeah.
See? So
they've been doing this
nothing new
forever.
under the sun.
It's been stupid forever. It's
Well, I mean, it depends on the villain. Like, all is story dependent. I have no problem with this. It just, what's the story? Why is it? They did this in the Young Justice cartoon, though. Someone made the point. It's an interesting question that we always ask, but I think they did an episode where Robin explains to a team, an all-female team of his team, here's why you're going to go do this, blah, 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 blah. And Batgirl says, it's interesting that you feel the need to explain to the all-female team why it's an all-female team when you've never explained to an all-male team why they're an all-male team. And Robin's like, I'm not going to get out of this easily, am I? And she's like, nope, signing out. And all the ladies laugh. And I thought that was a hell of a funny treatment of this subject matter. But there are ways to do it, and raise all boats.
You can. It just, I mean, if this villain is like super horny, this might be a good approach.
Oh dear God!
Oh, you know what I should say to ruin everything and just ruin
Hornetron.
Yeah,
please ruin. Ruin it.
It's been so long since DC did anything with Wonder Woman and the Star Riders.
What the hell?
Come on, Mumbles, you're complaining about my age here? Come on.
How dare you? I'm the oldest.
Well, yeah, when they briefly tried to, I think those came in like with like cereal or something. I mean, they were like these like little comics, and the Star Riders. Like, it's about time that some ironic 30-something-year-old writer came in and tried to do some sort of reboot with them at DC. It's time.
Full disclosure, I pulled out all my old Atari Force comics. Like, can I work these guys into Green Lantern?
Oh, you've got to.
Yeah.
No, I can't. They don't own the rights. I can't do it. Yeah.
Who has the rights to Atari
anyway?
Force?
Yeah, who does have the rights for Atari Force?
Atari is its own company again. They own the rights.
Wow, so you're saying that someone, I don't know who,
I don't know who that might be. Yes,
we
and
could
maybe
look into this and
Atari Force. Yeah.
And then if you were in touch with someone who ended up getting the license for Atari Force, you'd have ideas for that.
I mean, it's not impossible, but the problem is for me right now. I mean, I don't know if Perch is even listening at this point, but
he's listening.
The problem is, like people worried about my fanboy in terms of, am I going to hurt Hal? But the problem really in my world is my fanboy wants me to take more jobs writing comics. I can't afford to, but I keep wanting to say yes. Like, I can't be on a TV show and write 5 comics, but I really want to write 5 comics.
If you wanted to get the Atari Force license, you'd need somebody who has some good connections into Japan, I would think, at this point.
I don't know who owns it. Actually, I don't know. It was never a Japanese company.
But when it rolled into the new incorporated company, I believe that's now Japanese owned.
Oh, well, maybe so. But I know DC doesn't own Atari Force, so you can't do it. So even if you wish to. So there won't even be a homage. I'm not even going to do it. There's no hint of that in there, so don't run around telling your friends. It's just not. But I did pull them out, and they were great comics.
All right. This might be a conversation to loop back to.
Yeah, sure. We'll talk about there. Anyway,
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to say, I was a sucker for the Royal Flush Gang.
Oh, I just want to wait.
I love the Royal Flush Gang.
Yeah.
They're in something now. Like they just appeared somewhere. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Is that Milgrom? Wait, you went back. Is that Milgrom again?
Yeah.
Dude, come on. Why are you hurting?
Yeah. Double Milgrom this month.
Oh God, yeah. I don't know.
Double the Milgrom, double the fun.
Yeah.
I may have to start drinking again. I don't know.
Yeah, Atari is owned by a French company. That's gonna be
there. You go.
That's tough.
G.I. Joe. Is that Zeck cover of G.I. Joe?
Yes, that is.
Jesus.
Yeah,
That
he
guy
did a
could draw.
couple GI Joe covers. They're all wonderful. So
Yeah.
and this Marvel Fanfare, it's kind of a cool cover, except traffic would be super shitty if that was going on.
Yes.
And he's
Yeah.
just
that was good.
yeah.
You know, I'm doing my thing. I can't see it anyway. So
Exactly. But
That's true.
it's a shame there aren't more books like, the Marvel Fanfares and your DC showcases and stuff like that, because there's some really great stories in those comics. And,
Oh yeah. I don't know that there is a what do you call it? There ought to be a position like archivist or something, because I don't think either of these, the modern version of these companies, really know what they've got. Like, there's just so much shit in there.
Oh yeah.
If you had a title like this, like Marvel Fanfare, we could tell stories kind of in this format, and then you had a bunch of, say, pitches that weren't really good for a full series, you could print them.
Yeah,
like Marvel Fanfare.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think both companies should have a showcase style book.
Yeah,
I think it's a perfect way to test out concepts and make money while you're doing it.
Yeah.
you could do that instead of a March Madness tournament.
Ugh.
Anyway.
Good.
Sorry.
Instead of, probably not.
Anyway, yes.
Who did who's? I want to say that's Nolan on Marvel Fanfare. Am I wrong?
Oh, see, I moved.
All right, move. Go. Don't go back. Don't go back.
I don't know. That's not Nolan. I don't think that is Nolan.
Okay.
I think that's older than that. But okay, all right.
Okay.
Batman's
All right.
strangest cases, like why he keeps collecting children,
Yeah.
and in some comics, sleeping with them for some reason.
Oh God, no.
He should not collect so many children. It's
Yes.
weird that he did that.
It is
He's
very
got
weird.
issues. He's got issues. And did someone say they made, when he was first brought in, what's his name? Jason Todd was a blonde, and he made him dye his hair black.
Yes.
That's creepy.
all creepy. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a lot
not
of
wrong.
intentional, unintentional. There's a surprising amount of panels that involve like Bruce and Dick waking up together in their pajamas, and it's very strange.
Bruce.
You do not understand what they're doing.
I begged you to get help. I
Yeah.
begged you to get help.
Like there's one where Dick is kind of scared of lightning, and so he wants to sleep in Bruce's bed, and you're like, you go fight crime in a costume, sir. Why?
Yeah, I don't think you're scared of lightning.
Yeah.
And
It's odd.
talk about intentional or accidental. What the hell?
Yeah, it's all right.
So Black Bison, haven't seen him in a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, his character doesn't come around very much.
Shockingly.
Yeah.
Stop that. Oh my God, you murdered that guy.
We are absolutely going to do this, City of
Yes, you are. You
My
are
words,
definitely.
it will happen.
All right, for real though. All what do they call it? Real talk. Can't you get away with it under the parody rule or the
for sure.
satire rule? You could do it.
We can absolutely do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I know some artists who would be happy to do it.
You can get Norm Brayfogle to come out of retirement.
Oh,
That would be,
bet I could.
you know what I'm saying? Like, if you got nothing but cool bad artists that aren't getting hired anymore to do it,
Yeah.
that would be so brutal.
Oh God, I'm trying to think. You know who we could probably get is Ty Templeton.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah.
He's funny too.
Yeah, he's fun. He would get the joke immediately, and just be like, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. I don't think we're going to ever see another Black Bison sighting. I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, it's unlikely that will be happening.
Yes.
In the Justice League, it's the Beast with 5 faces. So
Oh, well, that powerful villain.
yeah. Yeah. I like how Aquaman just sucks. He's like, oh man, they got Aquaman. Now it's for us. Shit.
Well, this is after they beat the Beast with 4 faces and before they tackled the Beast with 6.
Yes.
You know what we have to do is bring the Beast with 10 faces. What's he been doing all this time? Or what's it been doing all this time?
Yeah.
10 faces coming.
Some strange stuff. All right.
Oh,
Well,
who cares about Aquaman? Like
people were Aquaman. He doesn't even have a comic anymore.
Oh,
Take that, nerds. Sorry.
that's the T-shirt. Take that, nerds. I wear that too.
I've got a video coming up. By the way, I mentioned with Ryan, who's been doing these movie reviews, and we do Howard the Duck, and we had to re-record it because the audio was all screwed up. So we re-record Howard the Duck earlier today, and Ryan lets me know that he had never watched that movie nor had any plans of it, but
He's not wrong.
Yeah,
don't.
Pissed, I would say
Don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, he was not happy at watching that movie, but he did have this interesting idea, which you'll hear in the thing, which is the premise of this movie is like Duck comes to human world and is horny. But what if you did it the other way? What if it was a human that went to Duck world and was horny? Would that be a better
for ducks?
Does that make
ducks
worse?
Oh Christ on a crutch!
Yeah, hit that.
Wait a minute, you've just described the internet. Actually, like I guarantee you that movie already exists.
Yeah, somewhere.
Oh Jesus!
It is. Yeah. All right, so okay, more modern books. Everybody's complaining. Yeah. Okay, so old books. Here's Dan Slott's rebooted Spider-Man #1. Mm-hmm. Secret Empire, of course. Who can forget Secret Empire?
You know, everybody was so mad about that.
Good. Yes, they were.
I mean, because all these, like, the individual creators, I don't have a problem with. All of these particular issues suck. But that's not indicative of the creators involved.
Yes.
I mean, I never understood the controversy. I couldn't tell if it was something marketing dreamed up and it got out of hand, or people like what you said, Perch. I thought was the only thing that I agreed with was if they thought seriously that comic book shops around the world were going to put up Hydra banners.
Yes,
no, that's like putting up Nazi banners. You're not doing that. But
all the so bad to plan that like that, you know.
Oh my God, no, we're not doing that. Are you high? No.
Well, they wanted us to do that, and they wanted us to pay to do that. I mean,
no,
we had to pay for some of that merch, and it's like, no. Yeah, no. It is interesting to think that the Marvel Comics less than 5 years ago was trying to encourage retailers to dress up like fascists and hold events. And they thought that was a good plan. So when they do all their current, like, hey, we're very progressive, just remind them they were the ones with the marketing plan to make everybody into a fascist. Yeah, that's a great plan.
No, thank you. And you got to pay for the privilege?
No. Oh, yeah, absolutely. No. Pay for those shirts. Yeah, it was hard. That definitely gets people into the shop, like,
Yeah, and I mean, look, I don't have any personal qualms with Bendis or anything like that. I own plenty of his stuff. I've read a lot of it. Sure. I hated how we were like plagued with the Young X-Men for years.
Yeah, really? I like the Young X-Men.
I just, well, here's the thing: when you look at it in a vacuum, it kind of works. But oddly enough, over the period of like less than a decade, we had Loki has to be a kid, to learn that to not be evil, all that stuff. But we kept getting that stuff over and over again because it was like, okay, we're doing that with the X-Men, we're doing that with Loki, and they did that with other characters too. I don't know why I'm blanking. It's because I've been drinking, but I don't know.
They did Iron Man. They made Tony Stark a teenager at one point in that period. But before that.
Yeah, they kept going back to the well on, we have to have this character be young again and learn a lesson. And like this was at like the tail end of that. And I'm like, oh, come on. You guys have done this. How many times?
Look at the shit I'm taking for the power battery going away again. Yeah. And I'm like, look, the company wants the power battery to go away. I'm sorry about it. I feel like sometimes that's the well that editorial wants to go to, or some executive wants to go to. The thing, remember, there was the SW6s or whatever, the Batch 6 Legion that came out of the cloning vats and we were never sure if they were the originals who'd just been kept in stasis, and that the ones that we'd been dealing with were the clones. And it was an interesting idea. I think what happens is the first person who has the idea, if you're not going to ride that idea all the way out, then don't do it.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's when you hand it off to somebody else and they're like, well, I don't love this. I'm going to do this with it. Like, it's like, well, that's not what it was for. Like, I know, but I don't love it, so I'm going to do this with it.
Yeah. Oh, and Iron Lad being, with
Iron
Kang.
Lad. Yeah.
Again, it was just all these. It was the same trope using over and over and over again. But to what Jamie was saying, yes, the Journey into Mystery run with the Young Loki, like, I love that run. I own a page from that run. Because of the timing of the Young X-Men coming back, that was part of why I was like, oh my God, I'm done. I was tapped out on that trope at that point.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean everyone else has to be, but it hit me then.
What do you know about the sort of backstage shenanigans? Because sometimes to me that indicates an editorial that's in disarray. Like that period of
disarray. That is true.
That period of X-Men to me just seemed like they didn't know what they were doing across the board.
As far as I know, they had no idea what they were doing after House of M.
Yeah,
like really,
I agree. Truly,
they knew they needed to wipe the slate clean, and the event House of M itself is fine. I own that. It's not this horrible thing. I feel like it's because of what's happened since then that people hate on it so much. But like the event itself is fine, whatever. It's not my favorite event, but it's a serviceable event.
I love the Wildcats.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started on the Wildcats. I love the Wildcats.
But then we were in such a dark age of X-Men. Like I used Peter David's X Factor Investigations as like my anchor.
Yeah.
To like kind of get through that, because it was always solid. It was never the best book of the month, but it was never close to the worst book of the month.
Static.
And I'd use that, and I'd see the events and all that through that lens, and every once in a while I'd poke in to the main next books, and I'd just be like, nope, this is terrible. And it was editorial, because the amount of, we got, what was it, Fraction, Brubaker, Gillen, Meir, all of them forgettable runs. It's like after a while. Yeah. And
no consistency either. Like forgettably inconsistent. Like, what the hell? Like from book to book, there was just like, I just don't care about any of this. Why is this happening? The vampires, we're fighting vampires now? The vampire nation? Like, what's happening?
Jubilee's a vampire. We're blessing.
And she's got a baby. Yeah. And she's got a baby.
That's
and I'm
a dragon?
Like, a baby? Oh, good God. Good Christ in heaven. What?
Don't you love doing this with us?
I know. I love it because it takes me back to those feelings. Like, I haven't thought about it since then, but I remember we're addicts, right? Because you're reading the book. I'm not buying it because I want to rag on it. I'm not going to come on YouTube and talk shit about it. But I'm unhappy. And I keep coming back to the book, and I'm like, okay, well, the art's good. Or, maybe it'll make sense in this issue. Like, maybe it all will add up to something here. And it kept not adding up to anything. And I was just like, at one point, I'm like, what? Stop it. No, I'm not doing that. Stop it.
I noped out of Avengers versus X-Men because, like, by the 7th issue, it was like there's ancient legend of a man that can punch the Phoenix to death, and it's like, I'm done.
What? No, there's not. There's no such thing as that. No, there isn't.
God, it was.
I'll tell you what. Just 1 second. All you people, I'm going to make your parents Green Lanterns. All your parents are going to be Green Lanterns. And then when they die, you'll know who to blame. Go look in the mirror because it's going to be you.
Oh my God. I love it. I love X-Men enough to, I guess, hate everything that people have done with it for a while. But no, I mean, the fact that like Jeff Lemire is one of my favorites on the scene ever since I was reading Sweet Tooth. And then I was like hooked. And I was like, if Jeff Lemire's on something, I gotta check it out.
Right.
I can't tell you anything about his X-Men work, and I read a bunch of it. It sucked. And that's not it can't be his fault entirely,
No, it has to be I mean, I don't like to throw editorial under the bus because they're generally short-staffed.
Oh, of
and
course, yeah.
you know, there's a lot of what the fuck is all this talk about? Anyway, OJ, who gives a shit? But
I appreciate the comedy of the ring does not fit, you must have quit. That's some good comedy, sir.
Dear God, what have we come to and what have we wrought? I feel like that they're short-staffed. They don't have. Sometimes there's fiefdoms, like the whole Superman office for decades at DC notoriously was like this own kingdom unto itself, and that translates down into the creative side where the writers can't flex, they can't do what they need to do, or they don't know enough about. There's no coherent thought process, and if it's just jumping from fucking event to event, then in between those events, it's just nothing. You're literally treading water, and the audience knows that. I know, because I'd be like, what the hell is going on here? There's nothing going on here.
Yeah. Well, so you had a couple weird things going on at the time. You did have the Fox movie rights that was causing some issues that they were not sure exactly what they could do. And you had a number of very deep arguments higher up in editorial where it's like, no, we're going to pay attention to the X universe. No, we're not. You can't make any new characters. That's going to be a problem because some of the writers wanted to, create some new IP that in theory they could get royalties from, but they were told not to. And you had this whole battle going on behind the scenes. So you'd have creators come in, I think, with this idea of I get to write the X-Men. It's like, no, you get a bunch of editorial craziness, and you get to write it, pal. And so that's why you had all these very short runs. And then they kind of set it up that Rick Remender had this good X-Force run that a lot of people remember very fondly. He was meant to take over kind of the X books, somewhat to how Hickman has now. He was going to become the guy, and then he has massive falling out with Marvel. And at the 11th hour, he and that's I know that was the major problem. Was they kind of at some point got their act together for Remender, and then that seemed to blow up 3 or 4 years. There's a whole Remender story and video I've been promising for well more than a year now with a lot of stuff in it, but it gets very personal. So
didn't he end up writing? Wasn't he doing when the Avengers were the X-Avengers, basically? Wasn't that Remender?
The Uncanny Avengers,
The Uncanny Avengers, yeah.
So was that during that period?
That was right before it, and the general buzz and sales were strong for X-Force and then Uncanny Avengers. That was considered a bright point in Marvel at the time, and then they rolled into Secret Wars, and the idea is coming out of Secret Wars, we'll roll Remender in here, but instead that didn't happen. Lemire came in, I think some others, and the Inhumans were prioritized, and the mutants were dying because of Inhuman gas, and it was just a terrible time. So,
but
because we get the X-Men franchise back from Fox. All of that because Fox owned the damned X-Men movie franchise.
But there was this that was that first issue of Uncanny X-Force. Havoc has like a monologue, and Twitter went crazy saying
I remember that
Remender was like a racist and all that for saying this.
Cultural appropriation.
Was that what sparked the Drown in Hobo Piss?
Yes.
Comment? Yes. Okay. I remember.
That's what. Yeah. So the origin to that, which might be a little familiar to you, Geoff, was that a news site, we won't say which one.
Those lovely place.
People, they decided to take that panel and like really drum up some interest that Havoc was a racist and the writer was a racist and cultural appropriation, all the rest. And Remender gave his famous, "You can go drown in hobo piss."
How much to make me a lantern?
About the same time, or a little bit later, then he has the Falcon sleep with what was that character's name? It was Baron Zemo's daughter. Not Zemo.
What?
No, not Zemo's daughter. Come on, chat, help me out. Who does he sleep? Who did he have sex with? It was this girl who was kind of artificially aged. It was Arnim Zola's daughter. That was which is even weird.
Okay, that's only slightly not as it's exactly as bad. Like what do you mean?
Yes. He sleeps with her, and then the internet's like, she's underage. She wasn't, but Jet Black. That's right. Her name was Jet Black, and Zola's daughter.
Oh,
and
dear God, really? It was not.
So then they accused Remender of being a pedophile, and it's like, and Marvel.
And he's just like, fuck it, I'm out.
The part that I think really irked him was that Marvel absolutely didn't really jump to his defense. We're very slow to do it. And
I am not taking money to make people Green Lanterns.
yes, you should, though. That's a cameo thing. You could absolutely
listen to me, you guys. You don't want to be a Green Lantern for the next 3 months. I promise you, nobody wants to be a Green Lantern for the next 3 months.
Yeah. Thank you, Comic Novice, by the way. For you.
Could you make him and then have him killed?
Yeah.
I mean, theoretically.
Well, Perch hasn't done his face reveal yet, so you can just say whichever one gets killed was Perch.
That's true. That's true. We stayed.
Well, I tell you what, if you want to be listed among the dead, I can do that for you.
There you go. Put me among the dead.
You don't get to see the death. You just
done. I'm getting killed.
These poor kids, they're so dead. They're all so dead.
Yeah. Here's an issue from a very celebrated Batman run.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is when he got married.
I don't read Batman, so I can't comment.
This was a very popular run where Batman was going to get married and was really cheerful, and everybody was really into it.
Okay. Wait, when he married Selena?
Well, he was going to, but
was that the controversial where it was all bait and switch when they finally got to the wedding?
Yes.
I remember the controversy, and I don't even read the book. Jesus.
That was a great time. Yeah. It reminds me here, this is, I think, issue 44. And this was like 6 issues before they revealed a wedding wasn't coming. So this, here he's checking out his wedding outfit and everything. And yeah, I can understand. I can sympathize with fans who are a little salty when it did not happen. But.
Well, I feel like ultimately that's a writing drop, because the fact that they don't get married shouldn't have been an issue if the story had been shaped properly.
Yeah.
Then it should have been, of course, right? I don't know what the plot or the story was. I literally have no idea because I did not read it. But if that was what you were planning to do the whole time, then when you do it, the audience should be with you, not against you. So
I agree completely. And I think part of the problem was, again, not a lot. Tom King gets all the hate for this, but you have to, again, the company was really aggressively telling everyone, we guarantee you we would never lie. The wedding is happening.
And then they did?
Yes. Oh yeah. They were totally down on it. 100% is going to happen. Comic stores, you should hold a wedding event.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. No, they were pushing the shops to open at midnight and have a special wedding party and order cake. And it was all in on that. And that's, most people, I think, looked at this and it's like a wrestling wedding. It's not going to happen. Somebody's going to come in and throw a pie at somebody else. But it was they really doubled down on, no, for sure it's going to happen. We would never lie to you, and that was
good Lord. And they straight up lied.
Oh yeah,
or that was true right up until the minute it wasn't.
That could be. I don't. We'll never know the full truth of that, but it's
Jesus Christ, guys! Don't screw with the fans that way. Wait a minute. Do they not currently have a book, Batman and Catwoman, and are they not currently married in it?
They're sort of married, right? They're married.
It's not in continuity.
Yeah, and it's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But DC needs to get their shit together with that, because
too many Bat books.
There's too many Bat books, too many continuities. It's it's harder than ever to just buy a book, to go in and oh, well, this is Earth 1 and this is the main universe and this is the linear verse and this is
the linear verse, please, with the linear verse. Well, let me ask you this, because I've been thinking about this too. It's been on my mind, not for my own book, but just in comics in general. What do we think about the idea that instead of this whole being married to freaking continuity over and over and over again, I'm killing TL Scooby. You can just, because any Green Lantern you name is dead. Let's start with that. If you name the Green Lantern is dead. I'm just going to tell you right now.
Bring out Joe's name.
Oh my God. So what about this? Let's say you had, I don't know who your favorite person would be for Batman. Whoever your favorite writer would be, coupled with your favorite artist for Batman, and you say to the audience, now begins a new era in the Batverse, right? And for the next 2 years, we're going to tell this story, and at the end of which it'll be done. Mm-hmm. And that's this story. And it doesn't matter where it's set. It doesn't matter if it's Earth 1, 2, or whatever, because when we're done and I put my hand, whoever puts their pen down and walks away. It's a solid book essentially, and then the next team that comes in goes, okay, we're not doing any of that. We're going to do this other thing, same character, same mythology, but we're not going to worry about carrying on the continuity from the last 2 years. But the audience already knows that. So what you're buying is a series of discrete adventures. They're just complex adventures, and they're spread out over 2 years. Yeah,
I think if you can, well, you got to. So half of that's good. I'm with you. I think if you explain it up front, that's good. You set expectations. I think that's the right decision. The only thing you got to do there is if it's going to stretch over 2 years, you got to make sure there's an easy way for people coming in midstream to know what the hell's going on. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's why I'm not editorial.
But no, it's an easy problem to solve. You can once upon a time, like the first page of the comics would recap things in a coherent way, and they didn't use it as a chance to troll or joke, and it would actually work. Like you could just print in there, here's what's going on, and people would get it.
Your chat people are monsters. They're history's greatest monsters. Kelly is not a Green Lantern, so she's not on the table. Sorry,
bummer. Yeah,
and
I think Joe, but not Joe Corallo, Joe Mullen. I'm surprised. People seem to hate that character. I don't.
Why?
I don't know.
What has she done? She hasn't even interacted with anyone.
It's so they look.
I make no promises about John. How about that? How do you feel about that?
Dun dun dun. There you go.
I make no promises about John Stewart's survival. How about that?
Yeah. Okay.
You sound like Madame Xanadu in Doorway to Nightmare.
That was an underrated book. And
absolutely.
The Kaluta art. I tried to hire that guy once, but I didn't have enough money for it, and he was great. He's like a prince, at least in dealing with me. So
that it was such a fun, but it's criminal that DC doesn't have Doorway to Nightmare right now. Just the title alone, it's like bring back Madame Xanadu in Doorway to Nightmare. It's great.
That? Oh my God, there's so much money on the table.
Yeah,
it's especially with what's going. You have them doing pseudo horror over there in Hulk. Like it's clear you have there's so many reasons why this would be a good idea for them.
Yes.
Teen Lantern ain't getting no damn ring, dude. You can hang that up. That is not her path, my friend.
I love this She-Hulk cover, by the way.
Ooh.
I think this was a clever way to have her reflected off Iron Man's face.
Is that Leighton or is that somebody doing Leighton?
I think it's this is Leighton. Yep.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Don't test my street cred. I know what's up.
You absolutely.
In this era, anyway, these were my people. Ghost Rider, Captain America versus Doc Ock. That's a weird pairing.
Yeah, Cap was doing this kind of stuff, and this is again. This is Zeck. Zeck just drew an amazing Captain America, but
Zeck was this. Well, this looks like it was this during the J.M. DeMatteis run too?
Yes, I believe so. This would be 259.
Yeah, so this is a good time for Cap. This is because this is like almost directly after Stern and Byrne left the book.
Right.
This is only a few issues or so after. Yeah.
I like the Ghost Rider coming in there in the reflection. There's some neat things with reflection on Iron Man.
Yeah, were these the same month?
Yeah, same week.
Wow.
Same week.
Yeah. Holy crap. I gotta say, Mike Zeck could draw his little ass off, and coming off of the Stern and Byrne run, I didn't envy anyone following that act. And I think they held it down. I think they held it down pretty good.
They did. What was it? And they created Vermin. Oh
my God.
Who everyone just remembers as that other guy in Kraven's Last Hunt.
Hey, Kraven's Last Hunt is still like top shelf. Like, good Christ, that was a good run.
I mean, here's a crazy part too. Is Zeck? I think you could get him on a comic book today.
Now,
I think you could.
What's he doing?
He does signings. He does material. He's been doing. He did this road show with Jim Shooter to do and John Beatty to do a Secret Wars kind of signature event.
Sure.
he still draws stuff. I think he's got weirdly, he's got one of the most modern websites of many comic professionals today.
I will go check him out. I mean,
Yeah, Mike.
what I would
yeah,
I would assume, like a lot of these older pros, that they can sell their original art to guys like us for shitloads of money. I don't know that I can afford them. That's what bumped me with Kaluta. He was affordable if you had enough money at the time. I just couldn't pay the rate, and I really felt bad because I wanted to, but I couldn't afford it. Maybe, I don't know what it'd be like now. I still think somebody is missing a trick. The ones of them that are still in line price-wise, like they're probably a little more than the average, but they're not all priced out. Some of those guys are great. I just feel like if you had a nest egg, you could start a company off them.
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure. But like, then you get people like Walt Simonson. He doesn't part with almost any of his original art.
Yeah.
Really? What's he planning on doing with it? Having a Viking funeral? What the hell?
Yes.
I mean, well,
burn it all one day. Yeah.
He basically was like, that's my retirement, and now he's in his 70s. So like, keep an eye out because.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Is he retiring? The fucker keeps drawing. When is that retirement supposed to happen?
I'm with you.
I don't think he has no plans. He's going to keep going.
Every like 10, he ends up drawing a Legion issue every 10 years or so. So his time's about up for that. They gotta make him draw another issue of the Legion.
Let's get you on the Legion with Simonson.
I would probably die if I got to do a book that he drew. Like, the Legion is the thing about the Legion, and Perch and I talked about this a little bit in other times, but everyone has their own favorite Legion. But it's almost at a point where I don't know that anyone could ever get it right, because there's always now going to be a contingent of fans that are like, you're fucking it up.
Oh, for
like,
sure. Yeah.
So I would definitely love a crack at it someday. All right, again, because we're here and we're all friends or whatever, this is not, I've never said this. I have a plan that will take us out for at least a couple, we'd be well into the end of 2022. If I got to run all the way with this story.
You better run all the way. If they can't,
I'm just saying, if sales allow it to go that long, I would stay until that was over. And if at that time, when it's time for me to say goodbye and put my pen down, they said, would you like the Legion at that point? You're damn right I'd say yes. The problem with the Legion is it's such a big book, like with the Green Lanterns, that it's like, all right, we talk about the X-Men. There's so many mutants that they really should just be on their own Earth. The reason that they're so problematic is that there's so damn many of them that they upset all the other superhero paradigms on the Marvel Earth, which is why I was worried that they were going to be put into the movies, because the same problem would occur. The same problem with the Green Lanterns. Green Lantern could be just its own discrete universe. There's so much lore, so many lanterns, so many possible storylines. You don't need them to be involved with any other superheroes at all, like at all. Mm-hmm. And you could do that. And the same thing's true of the Legion, only set far in the future. You could just do that. So the complexity of the book, it's kind of like signing on to write Game of Thrones. Right? I couldn't write the Legion and write Green Lantern, right? Because they're both so freaking unwieldy that it would take all your brain to in any way approach doing it right. I could like maybe write Green Lantern and like a street level hero book, which would have very simple kind of adventures, but like I couldn't do this and any X book at the same time. There's just no fucking way. So yeah, the answer is that would be a dream project. It almost doesn't matter who's drawing it. But the real truth is, by that time, I'll be in my mid to late 50s. Are they going to give me the Legion, which is about teenagers?
Come on, that's the bar. Well, you absolutely could write the Legion. Please get in there and somebody write the Legion.
No, I would like to. I would very much like to. But again, like everybody who takes it over does some sort of a reboot. And I would like. Okay, let's talk about the Legion for a sec. Just for a sec. Sure. I would probably, because of the main audience now, I would probably switch up some ethnicities. But on the other side of that, I would also go back to the core baseline Legionnaires. So then I would run into problems because some contingent would be like, why is this character Arab American or looks like an Arab now? Why is this character, male or female or non-binary or whatever the fuck, depending on what I did? And my answer would be, I'm trying to appeal to the modern audience, not the young audience, just the current audience. And they're supposed to be in our future. So that would be one hurdle you'd have to get over. The other thing is, who founded the Legion at this point? Their reasoning for being the Legion is all Superman's adventures. Mm-hmm. Well, now John Kent started the United Planets. So if that's still true in 5 years, why did the Legion get inspired? How did they get inspired? Like, these are the weird kind of world building questions you have to ask yourself when you go into something like that. And I would treat it the way I'm treating Green Lantern, which is a sort of a science fiction event, right? Less superhero, more science fiction. So would that be acceptable to the core, whatever that is, core Legion audience? I don't know. Like, I think of myself as the core Legion audience. I would love it. Perch and I are geeking out about the 5 years sure. later thing. But is that everybody's cup of tea?
Well, I suspect you'd have more acceptance or support if you kept the characters the way they are, but then phased a bunch out and brought new ones in, like they did in 5 years later. I would do that. Yeah, anytime you're like, and they're a different ethnicity now, I think it's like you're automatically isolating people, and then you get caught in that trap. Like, why didn't you create a new character? Well, it's too hard to create a new character. That's all that kind of stuff.
You have to do both. You have to, and that's why I thought the 5 years after Gap was a smart play, because it allowed them to do that organically, so-called. And you could say, oh, these people have retired, or these people are, you haven't seen them for 5 years, and certain events happen where this couple you never thought would be a couple is a couple, or this character is now very, very, very militaristic, but it's because of a terrorist thing that happened, and they're sort of traumatized. And like the whole shit with Shrinking Violet, that was like, you would have never seen it coming, but it totally made sense in the context of that book. You'd have to try something like that, and that is such a complex undertaking. Like, part of the reason I like that era, in fact, is Giffen and the Beer Bombs. They really thought that stuff through. So if you're just a solo writer on that, that's a big bite.
It is. I think you also have to get, the publisher has to be willing again, and they can. This is the bullshit part of the industry right now, is that the publisher should be able to go to you and say, all right, Geoff, good sales or bad sales, we're committing to 2 years. And if the sales are good, then we're committing to 5 years. But
that's what I would like.
We're not even going to look at the sales under 2 years. So
I'm on Green Lantern officially only till the end of this arc. And if sales aren't good, that will be the end of my time. I tell people that all the time. If you guys really hate me, just don't buy it. And by the time my contract's done, I will be off the book.
Yeah.
But we don't want that, right? I mean, I don't want that. I would like to stay until I'm ready to go. So
the challenge is, this is where I think there's this deep misunderstanding, because the superheroes, it's the mythology and the legacy and this ongoing tale. And so, but you're naturally shooting yourself in the foot if you're saying, all right, but we're going to do this 6 months at a time. Like no writer can get up ahead of steam and really do anything significant.
It's true. And like already, I mean, it's like we're going to have to do a decompress after this is all over, like an after action conversation
5 years from now.
Yeah, because one of the fun things and one of the awful things about writing comics for either of the big two is the ground under your feet is shifting, and it's never not shifting. It's just, is it shifting in a small amount, or is it shifting a really crazy amount, right? So things that you came in with and things that you plan to do and you're like building up to, you're praying that you get enough running room before the next change that you didn't know about, that was never coming before. Like, I have a whole bunch of crap I've got completely laid out for Green Lantern, right? And the audience will never know one way or the other what was all Geoff and what was some of it was editorial edict and all that kind of stuff if I do my job right. But like at any point in this next 5 months, right, I'm 4 months ahead of you guys. So anytime in the next 5 months, they could be like, well, yeah, but now the Spectre is the big villain in the DCU because of some amazing thing that somebody else did, which I'm not reading that book, and why would I know that? So not even necessarily a crossover, but it just upended all of this stuff. So you're going to have to shift.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
And you know what I mean? These kind of problems, and they are big and small. Like that's a giant one anyone can grasp, but they can be little tiny things that like you don't think are a big deal. And then you realize, oh my God, in episode 7, I plan to do this and this and this, but now I can't because now there's this new mandate that you can't play characters of this type that way. But we all agreed back in September, I know, but it's now June and we've changed our minds.
This is, this is where you hire Joe to be your editor, and people coordinate.
There we go.
Yeah, well, I'd like to think people are coordinating a bit. I feel lucky with the Green Lantern because they've said basically, right now, post Death Metal, Green Lantern's the cosmic book. So you're kind of out front of the ship right now. Like it's not like you're defining it, but people are going to be like, okay, he did that. I can build off that. But other books.
They've just got to commit more. I think here the crazy thing, all the sales analysis videos they've done, everything that I put together, the shuffling around of artists is not they're picking up or creators or writers or anything. None of this is picking up steam. So you're spending the same money, you're getting the same money. The only thing that we have actual proof of the last 5 years that's successful is if we do look at the longer runs, like with Walking Dead and Saga and others, it's like, or Dan Slott on Spider-Man for that matter. When you're on the book for a long time and you're able to really craft long-term storylines, sales do tend to rebound and go back up. So,
but isn't this a function of why I came to your channel in the first place? I'm not certain that there's anyone who occupies the position in either of these companies that does the kind of analysis that, frankly, in my entire life, I've never seen anyone do but you.
Yeah.
I go back to the days where there was the Comics Journal before Wizard, where there were like supposedly serious journalism on comics. I never saw anyone do any kind of market analysis or trend analysis or anything like that. And that's where what you're saying, the conversation that comes out of that analysis is what would change editorial policy. But if no one's doing the analysis, no policy change.
Yeah, I really hope, because it's the shifting lanes and the constant change. It's eroding things faster. They're losing more money in this process. And frankly, if you're thinking about longer term planning, how to stabilize and how to reduce your costs over time, saying something like, "Hey, here's a creative team we're going to commit to for 2 years, and then we're just not going to think about it," you will save money in that process.
I agree with that. And the thing is, if they really suck, if sales tank so bad that it costs the company too much to make the book, you're going to kill it anyway.
Sure.
Right.
Yes.
So it doesn't cost you anything to say, okay, we're committing to 2 years, sales permitting. Right.
Yeah.
Because then you make the announcement and the audience gets to know. Like I told everybody about Green Lantern, like it's not going to have the things that you fear will not happen. Other things you may not like, but all the stuff you guys are worried about, none of that's going to happen. And if you read the issue 1 and you like it, you're going to want me to stick around. But if you also know, look, he's only got a contract till issue 11 or whatever, there's no guarantee I'm sticking around after that. And since I'm 5 months ahead, right, by the time you start the book, I might be off it already.
Well, and bluntly, it's bad for both companies. So DC doesn't get the benefit of a long run, which has not only, I think, proof showing that sales go up, but also you get then aftermarket with trades and omnibuses and other things you can do with that. But it's bad for, it's also bad the other direction by not committing to you. If you do a hot run, then suddenly, you go off and do an image book, you go out, you get poached for some greater thing.
Exactly.
And then you have to pay you more,
And in my case, I have this other career going on where I love writing comics. That's part of why I'm doing it. Like that's the largest part of why I'm doing it. And yes, but that love doesn't pay my bills. It doesn't put a roof over my head. Not really. So at some point, for sure, I'm going to have to step away and go back to TV, for sure. But if the company says, I'm not lobbying for this, by the way, I'm quite happy in my current position, but I don't know what's going to happen in a year or 2 years. And if I only have a contract that goes for 8 months or 9 months, I might not be able to come back. But if I had a contract set for 2 years, everyone who was hiring me would have to figure in, and I'm talking on the TV side, I would always have to say, well, that's great, but remember, I got to do this thing for DC Comics because I got another year on this comic book, contracted a year before you met me. So I would be able to plan essentially and then stay on books longer, regardless of what happened to the other career. But in this case, like, dude, I'm telling you, it is not impossible that I could have all these great plans and everyone could like it, and I hope everyone likes it. But there's in 3 months I could get some deal on the Hollywood side that says you can't sign that next 9-month or 10-month contract.
Sure.
And that is so not impossible. Like,
these things happen. It's just and again, it takes money out of everybody's pockets. The having to replan all of this. None of this equates to stronger sales. And the crazy part about it, I'll be honest with you guys. I mean, I do these sales videos and these analysis. 90% of the time in my videos, I'm like, I am just saying dumb, common sense shit right now. Everybody's going to be bored.
That is scary to me. That is totally scary to me. I feel like every company who does this kind of material, regardless of it's comics or not, should have at least one person like you just to do this analysis. It seems like
they should. Joe, we've talked about this. I mean, this is like a lot of this stuff is basic business analysts out of college. Like, you can hire interns to do half this work. I mean, half the work I do having to find the data. You have the data as a company. Like,
right. Absolutely. This is also the longest I've looked at any Convergence comic.
Wow. As I said, he never puts his sword away. It came out and it never has gone back in the sheet. Jesus,
I love
he's looking for an opening. Every moment he's looking for an opening. Good.
I'm sitting here like ready to click. I'm like, no, I want to ask these guys if they read the Neil Gaiman Batman and what they thought of that. But
well, I have to step away. How long do you think you're going to go? I'll be gone for about a half hour.
No. We're wrapping up, actually.
Okay, great. Well, then I'll stick to your wrap.
All right, let's stick to the end. But did you guys read Neil Gaiman? I'll go to the next here. We'll go to this real quick. Neil Gaiman Batman. I always remember that was a hype pretty big, but then didn't amount to much.
I don't think I did, but I wouldn't be surprised if I did, because no one references that.
I can't believe I didn't buy it, but I also can't believe I read it.
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah,
they call it Whatever Happened to the Cape Crusader, because that's when people bring it up, like, oh, Neil Gaiman wrote Batman.
Yeah,
whatever happened to
exactly? That was the review. How about Moon Knight? I love this. 1 minute ago, Moon Knight was destroyed. He doesn't know it yet. So
nice. Is that St. Kevin's?
Like that. No, I don't think so.
Because early St. Kevin's is kind of hard to pull.
I'm trying to look at the signature there. I don't believe so.
Okay. I have Skull the Slayer, which is bizarre.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's a Kirby cover, but he didn't do the interior because I have that book, and that was the intro of Baron Blood.
Yeah. Nice. That was Baron Blood is awesome.
I love Baron Blood.
God. Such a great character.
And then he became
Nazi vampire. Like the two worst possible things to be: a Nazi and a vampire. God,
you get him in one. Yeah, and now he's also Jordan Peterson, so it's crazy.
Oh, stop it!
Baron Blood should have a blog.
Yes, he should.
Wow, that would be hysterical. Yeah. And wait, Stern and Byrne used him, and they crushed. I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, when Cap has to sever Baron Blood's head with that shield.
Oh my God, that shit was awesome! Holy! And was that Joe Rubinstein? Was the inker on that?
He inked the whole run. Yeah.
See, I told you, don't mess with me. I got my street cred. I know. Oh man, yeah, that was some good shit. That was some good. Look at that classic Kirby cover. That layout is unmistakable. That composition, shot composition. Go, baby, go. Oh,
and then lots of Spawn.
Yeah, I wasn't a big Spawn fan, but I have the two non-Spawn crossovers.
Yeah, Spawn, Wildcat, Spawn crossed over quite a bit actually.
Yeah.
And you get Gen 13. That was that Fire from Heaven crossover was not the best.
No,
it was not. No, it was not. I was hooked though. I was, whatever you call an Image addict at that time. I was, except for Spawn, I was just over Spawn. But
I
pretty
loved
much
a lot.
anything else I would buy it.
It felt like I loved a lot of their books, and every time they did a crossover, it just derailed everything that was going on at the time. They just stuck to not the crossovers. They were always in better shape.
Okay, Joe, you're the archivist. Let me ask you this about these books. I remember that they did the same thing we did with Future State. They did a version of where they said we're going to jump next month. It's going to be issue 100. It wasn't really 100. It's going to be 100, and then when you catch up to it, the month after it'll go back to normal numbering. When you catch up, we're not going to reprint issue 100. This is issue 100, right? Do you remember that, or did I make that up in a fever dream?
It's like I don't remember that as much. I'd have to double check. I wouldn't be shocked if they did that and then forgot about it and made a new issue 100 anyway.
Shocking,
because that sounds like what you do there. I mean, I wasn't reading Image at this time too much. I did play the Spawn video game on Super Nintendo.
There you go. You brought that. There you go.
But no, and I read some of the earlier issues of stuff like Spawn, and I don't know. Like I thought the action figures were cool, and I thought the characters looked cool, but the whatever it was with the story wasn't enough for me to go back and get more, I guess.
Same deal. I was a big McFarlane art lover.
Oh yeah,
but the book just didn't hold me. I couldn't stick with it.
Oh my God, his like Spider-Man is I love it so much, and just incredible. And and Spawn again looks great, but like it never really grabbed me. I'm a stupid comics mark. I'll see the new movie whenever that comes out, if it ever comes out. But
Sure.
Yeah. It feels like that. Spawn's a property that I think needs not a reboot by any stretch of the imagination, but hey, let me remind you what the hell we're doing here kind of book. That for reading 300, it needs to attract. It did attract a lot more people, but it's got to remind people kind of what it is. I think that's it's suffering that a little bit. So
it's a fairly complex base concept, so it's going to take a minute to explain who he is and what he's about. But the cartoon was good. I actually stuck with that one.
Oh yeah.
Spawn's a great property. It's just, I mean, it's crazy because it's it's in triple digits, so it's a comic, which makes it the only one in existence it is.
It's an unbroken line to issue 300. Good.
Yeah.
It's still volume 1 of Spawn.
Yeah, which is awesome. I love that. I tons of respect to that. They need to kind of remind people what's going on a little bit, and I think it's good property. I'm excited to see what Todd's doing. He's assembling a hell of a roster right now. So
he really is.
He's expanding the universe, right? It's going to be a shared universe of some kind or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got a lot of pretty good artists coming in. So
nice. Okay.
All right. I think this is the end. I think this is our last one, but this is I love this Avengers cover. I always liked when the Avengers would do this stuff. They went to the well a lot, but I always like this. I like the gags going on as like, who will be part of the Avengers? And
oh yeah,
it is Invisible Girl.
Oh Christ, is this Al Milgrom again?
Yes.
What's up with you?
We are in that time. Yeah.
Was he just that prolific? Because he's everywhere.
We got John Romita Jr. over there on the right, and we got Sienkiewicz on the left. So
okay,
that's but I don't know. Now it's like, do we hunt Al Milgrom down and try to interview him now just to be like, what the hell was that, Al?
Like, you were everywhere.
Like, if he wasn't penciling it, he was inking it. It was
he must have needed the money.
I don't know. I'm excited because while we've been talking, I got finally a response which comes every 3 weeks from Mr. Austen. So we're getting close, Joe.
And while we're blessed with an amazing Uncanny X-Men comic.
Yeah, that was ironically another vampire-related one.
Yeah, this was Vampire Month for sure.
Dracula got Storm, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
I recently got the omnibus that one's in, and I'm going to binge some Uncanny X-Men soon because I got a few of the omnibuses, and that'll be fun.
Why is
that's my idea of fun.
All this shit is in my head. Why do I know any of this shit?
Oh, my God. How much I have? Jesus. Okay, we're going to have to go way faster here because just...
That's okay. We can go
Stop,
faster.
bro. Holy
Oh,
crap.
but Jeff has to go in a second. So yeah, there's
Infinite Crisis. Ugh.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't the best of the crises, but
No, we should do a retrospective on Infinite Crisis at some point, though.
yeah, I agree.
That's there's the Villains United was good,
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
you know, and then
There's that Azarello Superman,
and then there's Wonder Woman brutally murders
yeah,
Maxwell Lord.
yeah,
So that's cool.
yeah.
We can talk about that.
Yeah, that's some great stuff we can get into there. Yeah.
Yeah, we got that. We got
This Alex Ross Justice did not do anywhere close to what it should have at the time.
no no one like that book got a lot of yeah, that was not getting loved. Wasn't Jim Kruger writing this? Who was writing that Justice?
I don't know. Maybe that was Kruger. Jeff is having some microphone issues at the moment, so he was getting close to ending anyway. So if you don't get the microphone back, I did want to say thank you to Jeff. He had a busy week, of course, with Green Lantern.
Yes, absolutely. No, that was great. But
yeah,
it was Kruger.
Wait, hold on. Am I back?
He's back.
Hey,
Excellent.
you're back.
Yeah, my headphones died, so I took the mic with him. I'm now
Jeez.
speaking.
But I was just about to say I've hung out with Jim Kruger before. I got margaritas with him after a signing once.
Okay.
And so we talked about all sorts of stuff, and we're a few in at this point, and he was in New York. He lives in LA, but he was out here, and he was doing signings for all these things, and out of nowhere in this conversation, he just goes, it wasn't until I moved to LA that I found out that women bleach there.
Oh my God.
You fill in the blanks, folks. But
why?
Yeah, and I was just like, okay, Jim,
thank you for sharing that for no goddamn reason. Why would you do that?
It's good, Jim. And he said it in a way where it wasn't even like it wasn't pervy, it was like inquisitive. It was like, I didn't know that.
Wait a minute. You were just sitting around talking with the dude you just met, and in the middle of the evening,
yeah,
he just pops off with this random ass statement.
Yeah.
Okay, God bless. Whatever.
I was just like, all right, boy, cool, sure.
Conan is a simp. Why is Conan a simp? That's believe. Isn't that believe?
Conan's turning into a tree here. I mean,
is that belief behind him?
Yeah, so's his girl. Like, dude, everybody's a tree.
Everybody's a simp for belief. You better get a grip.
Yeah,
like that girl was hard as hell. Holy crap.
Yes.
There we go.
That Thor, no, that was no.
And that wasn't a great Thor.
No.
And the Power Man Iron Fist, I believe I did not like.
That was why is he going for a disco ball?
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah,
the positioning's weird too. Is he taking bullets? Is he getting shot? Is that
looks like he's getting shot? Yeah,
okay.
He's getting shot by a ray gun of some kind, and
they look like the Watchdogs. I know they're not the Watchdogs, but they look like the Watchdogs.
Wait, are those the Sons of the Serpent down there?
I think they're just random guys with vests.
Okay. The other thing is, doesn't it look like the composition here expected there to be dialogue on this cover, and it just didn't do it?
Yeah, they definitely. There was some dialogue there, like, "Hey, why are you pushing your ass into my back? Shut up, dude! I'm protecting you from lasers," or something like that.
Yeah, something like. I mean,
I hate Hal Jordan. Maybe saying,
"I am not a Zatanna simp."
Just a simp.
You're not a simp when she's hot. She's already hot.
How about 1602? Did you read that?
Yes.
Did you like it? What did you think of that comic?
Uneven.
Yeah. I expected more. It felt like that story ran out of gas somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, it was uneven. There were bits of it I liked. I seem to remember I liked some of the tie-ins more than the book.
Yeah. There
was an Old West one. That's the definition of a simp. Well, in my defense, I am old, so leave me alone. You kids get off my lawn.
Yeah. I wanted to like 1602. I liked the premise. I liked Neil Gaiman. I thought that would be better. And I just remember like issue 1 be like, oh, this is great. And then issue 2, like what? And then it just went all to hell. So
I mean, I don't know. I think there is a bit of a dirty secret here with Neil Gaiman, that outside of his prose, when it comes to comics, it's a good thing he really stuck to prose. Because
yeah, I gotta have to lean hard on that too. He's not like, I liked his Miracle Man. I love Sandman, obviously.
Absolutely.
But he's good writing Neil Gaiman characters.
yeah,
I don't know that he's, well, 1602 is a good idea. It was an interesting idea.
Sure.
I just feel like not every subject matter should be treated the same way.
But I think it fit, because at the beginning of the series, he was writing them more as Neil Gaiman characters. They didn't have identities. They were more, and then as he had to work in more of the here's who they are here's who they are in Marvel. That's where it's all apart. It was better when he was just doing his own thing.
I agree with them. Just let the man do his thing. Give him a section he can do what he wants.
Yeah,
and then we'll come and dig it and love it.
How about Space Cabby in Green Lantern?
No Space Cabby.
Okay, no Space.
That's too bad. I liked every once in a while. I like seeing Space Cabby. You know, like it's,
well, okay. Let me rephrase that. If I use Space Cabby, you may not find him to be the recognizable Space Cabby you remember.
Oh, okay.
If I swing the Eye of Sauron towards Space Cabby, it will be transformed into something weird. So, again, best not to name things unless you want to see them massively.
Unless you want them to die. Okay.
Yeah, that too. I don't want to kill him.
We are at our final one. There's I got way too many in here. I do not know.
Ooh, all right. I definitely have that.
But I liked a lot of these. I liked.
I have both of the ones on the outside. I have the bookends. I don't have the Conan.
Nice.
Yeah.
And by the way, that Spider-Man isn't that? Wait a minute. Is that the one where he went to the suburbs?
Yeah.
Oh, that was the craziest.
That's this is during what, the DeFalco Frenz run?
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Underrated Ron Frenz.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, it's not enough people talk about Ron Frenz. It's crazy.
Is he alive? I hate to say it.
I thought he was. Yeah, no, he is. Yeah.
He's not dead. No. Just not getting more work like he should.
That sucks.
Yeah,
Conan
he's only 61.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he could do more things for sure.
Jesus, let the man flex. There's got to be a book for him.
Absolutely. Mumbles, don't make fun of that, by the way. Come on.
What is Mumbles saying?
No, not Ron Friends. I can hear you typing from you.
Wow.
Savage Sword of Conan. He is swole.
He's swole.
What I notice, what's weird about this is, and it's kind of hard to tell, but if you look at his arm, the colorist seems to kind of give up and then just draw something else in the background midway through. You see his bracelet there.
Hold on, I got to make this bigger.
Yeah, it's just invisibly in the wood. There's something very weird going on with this cover, other than the fact that it's all sailing toward a semi-nude green woman. Yeah.
Well, as one does.
Yes, that's where you go.
I mean, if you're on a river. Oh wait, are those her tentacles? I bet they are.
Yeah, they're coming for him. Yeah, don't come out of the water.
Yeah, I mean, Ron Friends does pretty cheap commissions too.
Don't.
No, it means he's affordable by a guy like yours truly.
All right. Yes, Ron Friends, get some.
Nice to know.
You could, according to his site, you could have him, do a pencil and inked recreation of that Amazing Spider-Man cover for like under $700.
Come on.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, that's cool. People should do that.
Yeah.
Perhaps they should.
That's a little sad, but that's I'm glad.
Perch has a tentacle finish. Why do I not know about this?
All right. Okay, everybody.
I think we've wound down at this point.
We have wound it down. That was a lot of comics to get through. When I go to the bigger images so we can see them better, there's more pages, which And I didn't space it out by putting butts in the middle, so I should have done that. But,
you know what? America thanks you.
Yes, there you have it. Jeff, it was a great issue. I really liked it. They would be insane to cut your run short. So let's.
I hope people enjoy it. I'm going to start the hashtag. Wait for the page turn.
Yeah. Okay.
Excellent.
It was a great issue. People should go check it out. And then, of course, Joe, as always, we've got lots of fun things coming up.
Absolutely. No, there's plenty of fun things we're going to do. We have more people who, for some ungodly reason, want to talk to us.
Why wouldn't they? I love you guys' interviews. They're great.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Joe is awesome at this. I'm just working to get him installed in all this, and then I will go and drink, and it will be the Joe show, and that'll be good.
There we go. But yeah, no, we're talking to some people who are interested. I know Joe Staten wants to do one. So
yeah. Oh shit, yeah, E-Man.
Yeah. So
definitely Joe Staten. We will get this Chuck Austen soon, which will be fun to do. And yeah, we got lots of.
I am so excited for this Chuck Austen one. I cannot stress that.
I'm going to listen to that because I never understood all the hate. I just never understood that. Where did that come from? And why did
yeah, that's what I really want to talk to him about, because I reread that run with New X-Men and Astonishing X-Men last year. And I got to tell you, reading them all like back to back in short order, almost 20 years later from when they came out, it's like, I don't get why this was considered so much worse than everything else.
I don't know why. And even if it was bad, which I don't necessarily think it was, but let's say it was, why was the vitriol like all on this man? Like, it was like he could go nowhere. He couldn't write anything. It was whose dog did he shoot in the face? My God.
Yeah. And I mean, like to this day, it is like a joke.
Yeah. It's like a running fucking gag. And I'm like, I don't think this was funny for his wallet. Like, what are you guys doing?
Absolutely. And like Joe said, you read other comics, your memory of it may be, it was horrible. If you go back and read it and read some of the other things that were going on at the time, or some of these X-Men runs we talked about with Jubilee as a vampire and other stuff, you will gain a surprising appreciation.
Yeah, I never got that. I just never got that. If I can't catch it, just tell him for me, I think he's the shit. Yeah. But it was great. Like,
we'll have a good time with that. So a lot of good stuff coming up, and lots of fun, and yeah, if you're bored, hit the like button, because I hear that helps the algorithm. Why not? What can it hurt? And last question, Jeff, how about you make Moira a Green Lantern? I get the feeling it's the only way we'll do it.
What Moira X? I feel your pain. I don't know where that beautiful creature went away to, but I can't make her a lantern. Sorry.
Well, meanwhile, Joe and I are going to go chase some licenses. So we'll
yes, I had a feeling.
Yeah, we might be doing that. I don't know what gave it away, but
you're so subtle with it. That's what I love about both of you.
Hey, everybody, thanks for coming, and we will talk to you later.
Yes, thanks so much. Have a good one.
Late.